And we are live with Spot Dodge, a live Nintendo podcast, where every single week we react to the latest Nintendo news and talk about the games we are playing. With me here today is, as always, Mary Stowe, social media manager and host at Destructoid, John Frisha, indie developer and managing editor over at The Escapist, Brett Larson, the King Daddy Dilf of the podcast, Greg Vargas, writer at PC Invasion and streamer over at Dynamite Giraffe, and shout out to Eric on the ones and twos, streaming the show live from his supercomputer. Thank you, Eric. We love you. You're the greatest. Guys, we got a fun show to get into. But first, I want to start things off with Pokemon. Actually, before that, if you're new to the place, we talk Nintendo, we talk Pokemon, we talk about pretty much everything, sometimes even outside of the Nintendo sphere. We'll just dive into anything we so feel like it. And I think that's a great way to do a podcast, because you want that natural flow of a conversation. You don't want to be forced into things, you know? And today I'm going to force everyone to talk about Pokemon. So here we go.
Man.
Pokemon in 2023. We know there's a Pokemon Presents in 2 days, right? The day after tomorrow, Mary? I think you know.
What?
She doesn't know. Never mind. There's
Sorry.
a Pokemon Presents soon. I gotta
Monday.
look it up
Whataburger
now.
on the brain? Whataburger on the brain?
No, I was about to type something in Twitch
The
chat.
worst hamburger place ever?
I should
I mean,
have remembered.
I'm gonna say something in chat about In-N-Out being mid, just to see if Greg noticed. Anyway, Pokemon
if you put it in the
Direct.
YouTube chat, he'd see it.
There's a Pokemon
Direct is
Day
next
event.
Monday.
Yeah, on Monday. And I wanted to talk a little bit about Pokemon, the status of Pokemon, the disappointment of not sales, but performance of Scarlet and Violet. That honestly kept me away from the game, which is crazy. I saw those games, I saw how they looked, saw how they played, and I was just like, you know what? I loved Pokemon Legends, and I'm not fully into this whole Scarlet and Violet thing. So I skipped out, but believe me, I've still been making fun of it ever since, even though I have not played them. But yeah, my hope for Pokemon in 2023 is that instead of doing their whole flip back and forth between a mainline game and then a remake of some sort, now we do the Legends every other, like we do Pokemon Legends, then a mainline game or remake, and then a mainline game or remake once again. Like a 3-year cadence. I think that would be really cool. Sort of like how Call of Duty does with 3 different developers. But every year, because, you know, they have to release a Pokemon game every year. It's just what they do now. I think it'd be smart to throw in Legends every single time, because the formula was so fun. It was so different, and it was exciting for the series because it felt like a mainline game, but it technically wasn't. And there was only one of them. It wasn't like a dual release, which is not typical for Pokemon. So yeah, I think that's what they should do. Pokemon Legends Celebi is what I put in the thumbnail. That was Eric made that, and I thought that would be a really cool thing to do.
Celebi?
What if that actually ended up being real? Like, what if it just so happened to be Celebi as like the legend? I think that'd be really cool. So yeah, Mary, toss it to you. What are your hopes and dreams for Pokemon this year? Are you excited for Pokemon Sleep?
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe it'll actually help me get more than 8 hours of sleep at night. Dream about little Bulbasaurs floating on clouds. But yeah, like I honestly, I feel like they're gonna tease or announce the next Pokemon game. I don't want to see that thing for another. I don't want to see it this year. I would want to see it next year.
Oh, it's coming this year.
I don't want to see it this year. I want it after Scarlet and Violet and like the release of that, and like they're still trying to like patch it and make it like run decent. I'm like, please just take a little bit of time.
we could get into that a little too. They announced a mega patch coming to Scarlet and Violet, fixing a ton of bugs, but nothing about the performance, which I find a little strange because the game runs horribly and looks awful. But yeah.
So I would prefer them wait. I don't think I want them to. I don't think they're going to. But yeah, and I feel like you were saying, I want to see more like Legend stuff. I haven't even played Legends Arceus though. Everyone keeps telling me, Mary, please
you haven't played it?
No.
Oh, wow.
That's surprising.
Brilliant.
It is.
Diamond Shining Pearl kind of killed my Pokemon vibe because it was kind of buggy too when it launched.
Yeah, and it did not look very good either.
Yeah, so that kind of, killed it, and I was like, all right, I'm skipping Legends Arceus, and then Scarlet Violet, and I was like, I'm not interested in any of this.
Honestly, you know what I would also like is if they went back and decided to do another Let's Go. I thought Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee were pretty damn good. And especially considering what we got after that, which was not as good of games that looked worse than Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee.
Maybe use this controller again. I have
Exactly.
It on my I still have it on my desk, but yeah.
You shot the TikTok for that?
Yeah.
The worst controller ever because it works for one game and it's only 2 buttons.
Yes. But yeah, I would like to see another Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee were really
Let's Go
fun,
Johto.
I thought. So yes.
Let's Go Johto just makes too much sense for Nintendo to do. Like, it has the perfect ring to it that they'd be like, Let's Go Typhlosion or something like that. Like, they wouldn't just do Let's Go Johto.
Yeah.
So that's unfortunate. Is that all your thoughts?
Dream. I think I had another thought. I was gonna say like Switch Online announcement.
Oh
stuff,
yeah,
maybe.
GBA
Yeah.
Pokemon game. That was missing.
Dude,
John, what
I
are your
didn't even
thoughts
think
on
about
that?
that.
Missing the good old Pokemon games from NSO.
So some of the classic Pokemon games were available to purchase on like 3DS and stuff like that. And since they're
Mhm.
shutting that down, now would basically be like the right time to just drop that on NSO. So like I really, really doubt that they just put like all of their games there all at once. That's not Nintendo's style. They would rather die than just give you all the things
They
that
do
they
like
already
one
have
Pokemon
ready to
game
go.
a year.
Yeah. Like, I think they'd have the courtesy to do red and blue at the same time. I don't think they'd
Hopefully.
be quite brazen enough to be red and 30 days from today, Pokemon Blue.
Yeah.
I don't think they do that. I do think they might hold back Pokemon Yellow a month. That's possible. That's something that Nintendo might do
Yeah.
because they're crazy like that. But
They're
I don't know,
wild.
but yeah,
Yeah,
so,
they would definitely do that.
so like I would say the odds are at least 50-50 that we'll see an announcement to that effect, and I think that could be pretty cool. But
Yeah. And it's something that they would probably save for this instead of announcing it with all the other ones.
right,
Like
Yeah.
Game Freak and Pokemon Company would be like, yeah, that's awesome, but we're going to do it in our own showcase so we can add
Right.
some more meat to the bones.
although shoot, devil's advocate, during the announcement they did show Pokemon trading card game. That was
True.
a Pokemon thing. So
You're right.
now I'm looking forward to
That's-
them announcing nothing, and then I get to
Yep.
go to Twitter and see everyone's pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
feel like that's
They-
a
they
true
did announce
statement,
that.
though.
I come out
I
on
was
top
always-
either way.
I was always curious about the trading card game on Game Boy Advance. Like when I was a kid, I would always
Oh,
look at
it
it and
was
be like,
on
should I
Game
get
Boy
that?
Color.
Oh, Game Boy Color, yeah.
Yeah, that was, well, since that was like the beginning of Pokemon, that was like the one time in life where I was actually really hardcore into it. And I think the strategy guide came out before the game did. And so I got the strategy guide and I was just like studying it and imagining how great the game was going to be once I got to play it.
Oh my god.
And when I played it, yeah, it didn't disappoint. It was a really fun game, actually. Like, it was a really good, like, faithful translation of the card game of the early era, like, onto Game Boy Color.
Like, was there like sprites and stuff like used, or was it all like just pictures basically?
No, you walked around as if it was an RPG, but then you like got into
Okay.
card battles with people. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll probably try that out whenever. Wait, is it up now, or is it coming?
I think so. I think it's one of the ones that's coming.
Yeah, they said it
Yeah.
coming
Yeah,
soon. Is these?
Because that wouldn't be expansion pack, and I have regular NSO, so I definitely would have given that a try if it were there. So it's on the way.
Yeah. Anyway,
Brett.
Brett, you don't like Pokemon, so
Yeah,
sorry, I was
I just,
sharing our podcast.
I just can't
on
believe
Facebook.
I just can't believe we have a like we're going to be talking about Pokemon again already. Like this is
Right.
like they have beat
Right?
Again.
they've beat
It's
this
been 2 whole
franchise to a
months.
they beat it to a bloody pulp. Like, come on. It
They need
makes
to
me
take a
wonder
little
if-
break.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if they'll ever.
They're
ever
selling
do,
too
like,
many
the-
millions. It would be ridiculous
Yeah.
for them to continue.
Honestly, I mean, they can put out half-ass efforts and get 20 million copies out of it. Like, it makes me wonder if they'll ever pull like the Assassin's Creed and like go back to the drawing board, take a couple of years and like reinvent it a little bit and come out with something fresh. I felt like Legends, even though I'm not a Pokemon fan, like Legends Arceus was the closest thing to that, but it wasn't like a break between cycles or anything. You know what I mean? So
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It
I
made
mean,
the
I
cycle
at
feel
least-
even smaller.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
I at least wish that if they're still going to do these mainline games and they're going to be as, you know, low effort, I want to like, I'm not trying to talk shit all the time on these games, but if they're going to do like Scarlet and Violet and have them look like that and have them run like that, at least simultaneously I'm hoping that they try and rebuild Pokemon in a similar way of how they did it with Legends, but keep on experimenting with new and different things. Like I'm playing through Hogwarts and you're in the open world and you have a bunch of different spells. And it's like you get in somewhere, like you go into a cave and it's like, well, there's this thing up in the wall. I guess I better try a bunch of my spells and see what works. It'd be cool to have like Pokemon to be able to like do that. Like you bring out Pokemon and use a fire Pokemon to burn down this wall or something like that. Like that'd be really cool. And have them like come out of the ball and like they follow you around and like you can shoot fire with them. Like it's almost as if your character is shooting the fire, but it's actually the Pokemon at your side. I feel like that'd be really cool. If they implemented more action-y stuff like that, like sort of how they did in Legends with like the boss fights, which was really different for Pokemon.
Yeah.
But they only have
Well,
a year development cycle. They can't do that.
I just
Yeah.
really want them to keep experimenting because I'm
Yeah.
probably going to keep skipping the mainline games if they're just not calling my name, you know?
Well, I mean, I think the fatal flaw in your logic here is that you're expecting innovation.
Yeah. That was, I mean, that's the downs. That's honestly what I felt like Legends was. Is it like
Yeah.
even though like overall Legends was kind of a very simple game, like you're catching Pokemon and then you're like building up your level in the town and then you're doing like another story beat where they take you to some legendary Pokemon that you battle and then literally fight, like you throw things at, which is hilarious. But I felt like that was still a step in the right direction, and I'm just scared that now that Scarlet and Violet just broke records, they're just going to be like, let's just keep on doing what we're doing. Like, we're doing perfectly fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder if they pay attention to like circles like ours that are like kind of screaming for something different, because the overwhelming majority of players just don't even say a word. They just go out and buy the game and play it, you know? So they've got to know. They've got to know that what they're putting out is like borderline not acceptable. But I mean, but when they're like John said though, like when you're selling that many copies, what's to stop them from doing anything different? Like why would you? You know,
Right.
You're making insane money. Why would you change anything?
Yeah.
So
And
It's
I mean,
hard to
be-
insult.
Yeah.
Real
Go ahead,
quick, to
John.
be fair, I mean, like making the shift to do like open world and multiplayer, like, I mean, that's not nothing. Like we
Yeah.
are treating it like it's like, yeah, whatever. But on a
Yeah, I know.
technical
Sure.
level, that's probably like quite substantial, actually.
Yeah, exactly. It's not all bad as bad as I make it sound, and a
Yeah.
lot of it's just for fun, just to make fun of
Yeah.
Pokemon a little bit.
it's
But
an easy game to poke at right now.
yeah, as
I
it
was gonna
makes
say, like-
billions.
Yeah,
Right.
and to your point, they would have to insult generations upon generations of Pokemon players. Like, look how long running the franchise is, not only in the US but in Japan, and it's like they even when they mess up, they can't mess up and insult their
Yeah.
player base because they're still going to buy it. They're like, I don't know, Star Wars fans. Like, no matter how bad the Phantom Menace was, it's still people flock to the theaters. I went as a kid, and like I've even watched it as an adult just to critique it. But I feel the same goes for Pokemon. Like, no matter how poorly the presentation is on the games, they're still going to sell well. Like, in that kind of sucks for
Yeah.
people that like you guys that have had critiques or looking at the games with a critical eye, because like it's kind of steered some of you away from the franchise, and like they don't really care.
I mean, I really want to know the age demographic for Pokemon. Like, I want to know if
Right.
it's mostly like older teens, if it's mostly like preteens, mostly 8-year-olds, or mostly like 30-year-olds like me.
It's all of it though, because
Yeah,
like you have
It's all a
why
bunch
it's
of old
selling so
people
many
playing
millions.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
like,
It's
you have people like us who we had it as kids, so we've been investing like our parents' dollars first and then our own money into the series, and now people our age are having kids and they're introducing their kids to it. So they're
Yeah.
already creating like the future generation of like Pokemon.
trainers.
Yeah.
Indoctrination.
Yeah.
people out there banging and having more kids. Gosh.
Brett, nobody mentioned
Whoa.
banging. You just had to come out of nowhere.
She's talking about generations and people need to stop banging and having more kids.
All
Someone's
right.
gotta have
okay.
that-
Just
Okay.
that King Dilf mentality.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
It all comes back to
He hates
procreation.
kids.
Right. I do. I hate kids.
All right, but
All
yeah,
Podcast
Pokemon
going to some weird places.
Yeah.
Already.
Usually does.
usually
Yeah,
does.
we're only 20 minutes in. We're
Fast.
not off the rails yet.
Yeah, it's just faster than normal. Sorry, guys.
But yeah, Pokemon presents on Monday at a brisk 6 a.m. for Mary, so that's great.
Yeah.
I was gonna react to it, but it's at 8 a.m. for me, and I'm probably still gonna be gone taking my kids to school, so I probably won't even be able to.
I don't know if I'm gonna wake up yet for that.
Maybe they
I
won't
might.
have school. I
I'm
think
just-
I might be off.
It'll be
I have to
9
wake up at, like,
a.m. for me.
5.
So
What day is it?
Perfect
Monday?
for John.
Monday.
Yeah.
Day.
I guess I can wake up for 9 a.m.
You know, you're gonna write up that news,
if I must.
immediately share it on Facebook.
Hey,
Yeah.
I had a question, like kind of about, like I mentioned in the chat, just how high the nostalgia is for Game Boy Advance games. So if they did pull out something as iconic as
Bro,
Red and
why are you
Blue,
talking about pulling out?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
how you
is
stop.
that
the
you, Brett Larson?
generations.
Is that you?
That's all you got to do is pull out. It's such a simple method, right?
It
All right,
works.
sorry, continue.
a lot
50%
harder
of the
than you
time,
think.
every time.
Sorry, man, continue.
uh, but do you see it like do you see them like say they went the Metroid Prime route? Do you think they would drop it day one? I would think that they would hold off and give people something to look forward to and hold it till summer and say
Drop
like,
what?
hey, at least
Wait, what game?
Red and Blue.
Oh,
Oh.
stealth
Red and
drop
Blue.
it.
Mm.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
probably
Or
stealth drop
what do you think would be? You think stealth drop it?
I think they would. I'm like what we said earlier. I feel like they just wouldn't want Nintendo to do it during like a direct, since like Pokemon Presents usually happens early in the year too. I feel like they'll stealth drop it, but they want to do it and like have their Pokemon Presents moment,
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So it won't feel like quite as special of a stealth drop because we knew we were getting some kind of announcement.
I gotta say, I just want to shout out NSO. I understand it gets a lot of shit, it's overpriced, but I really do like how they have each console set up like within the Switch, and how you like open it up and it's like tiles and it's like beautiful artwork, like super high res.
That
So I
is
just want to
cool.
shout that
Yeah.
out. It'd be
Something I
cool if you
was-
had the option to switch between consoles within one app.
Mhm.
Like if you press
Yeah.
like the trigger or something, then you could like easily switch to another console and then it would load. But yeah, maybe next console. What, Mary, sorry?
Or switch to
I
Catch
don't know.
Fire.
I was like, it's just a random thought I had, but I was like, so what if they did release like the Pokemon games on Switch Online? What would that do to the collector's market? Do we think it would
Oh,
hurt?
probably nothing.
Yeah, like because
Yeah.
Pokemon cartridges are stupid expensive, but I'm like, would that take the price down? I'm like, I don't know, because then there's
No.
people that like really
No.
want to have like physical copies like me,
Right.
Like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
So like Earthbound is like basically as expensive as it's always been, despite it coming to
Okay.
Wii U years ago and then coming to Switch. Yeah, like it, at least in my experience, like digital re-releases don't really touch the prices of the physical stuff.
Yeah.
Unless
Yeah.
they go away from digital stores, then they might affect it like going up. feel
Yeah,
like.
right.
Yeah, I was talking
Because-
about like, do we
Only-
think
That's
there's a chance they'll
true.
go down?
That's
Yeah,
true.
The
Probably
only
not.
consequence is that prices go further up.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the
That's a good
PS3
point,
store
actually.
shutting down, like when they announced that, all the prices, which it still hasn't gone down from my knowledge, all the prices for like old ass PS3 games, like they're crazy right now. Like Ultimate Alliance and random games like that, like so
What the
expensive
hell?
on PS3. Doesn't make any sense.
Wow.
I've been trying to
So
buy
is
that
the
Wolverine
random
game
games.
forever, but it's like freaking $90. I was like, I don't want to spend $90 on a PS3 Wolverine game.
Don't do it.
No, there's no way a
Yeah.
Wolverine game is
No.
like that. Like, oh.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think like as long as like stuff still comes out like the analog pocket, like I saw somebody that built it into like it was like all wood and it said Wood Boy at the top, but the screen was using the analog pocket, I believe, but the display was just gorgeous. But it was like an original, Game Boy game, but it just looked beautiful. And so I think as long as there's, still companies like Hyperkin and, products like the analog pocket coming out, like people are still going to crave the original, cartridge titles. I mean, there's still collector's items to have the original copy.
Yeah.
And it also
Yeah.
battles back against emulation. Like you're not emulating illegally if you own the copy. So
Mhm.
The law is really weird. I think it is still illegal even then, but
mm,
you can
Even if
feel
you own
better.
it?
You could feel like closer to the moral right though. Yeah.
You're like, I
I get
paid
what
for
you're
it at some point. Come on.
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. So, but
take me to jail.
Yeah.
for playing Mega Man 3 on the Game Boy on your computer.
Yeah.
I still
Wouldn't it
want
be crazy,
the
like-
Genesis ones. They're just so expensive. So
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
Do you think we'd ever get to a point where like they really started cracking down on like downloading like emulation and stuff? Like,
I mean,
Nah, I don't
trying
think
to
so
take
unless
people
you're
to
ever
jail.
selling it. It's like the whole piracy thing. Unless you're selling it, I don't think they can really prosecute you. I
Well-
think it's all like warnings and stuff.
John,
but
can you
unless
I
John
think-
has prior knowledge, he's like, well,
John-
I've
John
heard
Frisha
that-
No, it's more just a case of like I don't think these companies are really that interested in like prosecuting random people for downloading things. It's more a case of like they're really putting the screws on the websites themselves that are housing these things.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nintendo and Square Enix, like years and years ago, like they flushed out all of that. If you want to get those games, you're going to like shady torrent sites because they hit
Right.
everybody.
I
else.
mean, there's one that's like, I don't know how it's still up, but I've been using it. Well, I don't even emulate that much, but I've been using it for like off and on for like 5-10 years, probably like for a
Yeah.
long time.
Do they have
I-
like Nintendo's first party games?
Yeah, they have like everything. They have
Oh,
like PSP,
Mysterious.
Nintendo DS, Game
Oh.
Boy Advance, GameCube, and they're really easy. Like it's so easy. You go to this website and you download what you want. Not that I ever have, but I'm just
of
saying.
course not. Why would you do
I
that?
rip all my
You
games
never would.
legally to emulate them. That's what I did.
Sure, that's a thing. All right.
I just send a
But-
check for $40 to the developer and then download it. So I feel morally good about it.
Whatever works. Yeah.
There are some people in some groups that I'm in that I really wonder if they're telling the truth, because they'll just emulate a Switch game like day one on their Steam Deck or their computer, and
Yeah.
they're like, but I bought the game, so I don't feel bad
Right.
doing it. I'm like, did
So
you?
if you bought
did
the
you buy
game,
the
then
game?
why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know what you're
that's pretty
talking about.
suspect, but
Yeah.
yeah.
People always posting in Facebook groups with their screenshot on a Steam Deck of like Super Mario Galaxy. It's like, you're so cool.
Yeah.
Right.
You're the
But, like,
it
coolest.
just sucks though. Like some of those games, like you said, like even like Earthbound, like no one's ever going to be able to own it. But like I'm glad they released it on the
Well, I mean,
Switch.
you can own it if you have like $300 handy,
Yeah.
give or take.
Yeah.
But like all the companies are different though. Like Capcom has been like famously chill about this for like forever. Like, if you were to go out hunting for like ROMs of old Mega Man, hypothetically speaking, you would very likely find them with like no difficulty. And it's just because
mean,
like
yeah.
Capcom's chill like that for some reason.
I feel like there's a group of people in the gaming community who really think that other people care that you can get this stuff in other ways. Like anytime I post anything on Nintendo Switch Online, I'll just emulate it. I'm just going to emulate
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Why even pay $70 a year? You can just emulate it. It's like, guys, everyone knows, they just really don't care to take the time to do that. When they can just pay this, they can just pay for this and have it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's simple, and they're doing it legally, and it's not like that's all it is. And like everyone's
Yeah.
freaking out all the time about, oh my god, there's a new Pokemon a game coming to NSO like Pokemon Yellow. It's like, well, I could just emulate that on my computer. Yeah, everyone knows.
It's just so people can feel
We
fucking
know.
smarter about
Right,
themselves.
yeah.
Like, oh,
Right.
you don't know how to emulate it on your computer.
Emulation's been a thing
Yeah.
for like 20
Kick
years.
rocks.
Like it's nothing
Yeah.
new either.
Yeah, longer.
That's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
funny.
And I'm just.
I think I played-
I feel like people lose
I was just-
sight of what casual gamers think. Sorry, Greg. Like casual
Oh,
gamers
no.
don't think
You're good.
about emulation. They don't care about emulation. They don't even know about it. They're never going to know about it.
Right.
They're never going to care about it. They're just
Yeah.
going to buy games legally and play them on their device. So sorry, Greg.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know. No, I was gonna say something else. Like, the first time I played Link to the Past was an emulated version on a fucking iMac,
Really?
and like,
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
Wow.
yeah. And
I have an iMac.
but well, played it to beat it because I did play it before that, but I was like super young in my Super Nintendo games. Like, I had like random games. I think Krusty's Funhouse or some shit. But
Simpsons.
All right.
Yeah.
yeah, but like
Classic.
yeah, but even to that point, like even outside of the emulation scene, you know, the retro scene that likes to mod consoles and use, you know, M cables and all the other garbage too is also pretty annoying as well. But let people just like what they like. Who cares?
Right.
Let them like a game that came out. Let them buy it. Let them play it on their
What-
Switch.
There
What-
and
what-
sorry, Brett.
No, you're good. You can go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, and there is something a bit more. I don't know how to put it. I don't know. It feels nice playing like games officially rather than playing them like playing some random game on your laptop or like
Yeah.
Yeah.
playing like I have a bunch of Game Boy Advance games on my G Cloud. The same games were just added to NSO. So if I'm going to play them, I might as well play them on the Switch where they're actually available and they look great, they run great, and there's nothing to worry about legally or
Different
anything.
Display options. Yeah.
Yeah, different. You can rewind, and those features are really like convenient and really cool. I only wish they had a fast forward feature for Game Boy and Game Boy Advance. I think that'd be really useful.
hmm
But yeah, there's something about playing it like for real on the real hardware, sort of
Yeah.
like how people like playing physical games. I get that aspect.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is kind of like what I was going to say. This whole thing reminds me of I've got a buddy who talked me into buying an Amazon Fire Stick because you can jailbreak them and like you get the right program and you can watch anything you can imagine. And for a long time, like I didn't own a single streaming service. I would just like watch everything through that. And like, you know, I wasn't doing very well financially back then. So back then I could at least justify it, be like, well, I can't really afford this stuff. So, but I shit you not, like I was doing torrents or the Fire Stick for literally everything, movies, streaming stuff, Netflix,
You're
HBO,
just gonna go to jail after this podcast.
Yeah.
Well, so actually you do get warnings once in a while if you don't have a VPN and
Oh
mask
my
it.
gosh.
But I have a buddy that's like, hey, did you download that new program on Fire Stick? I'm like, yeah, I don't really use that anymore. He's like, why? I'm like, I just pay for the services now. He's like, why the hell would you
He's
do
like,
that when you
what
can get
the
it for
fuck
free?"
is wrong with you? Pathetic
I'm like-
piece of shit.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, number one, it's so much easier just to click on HBO Max and go on and watch a perfect version of it, as opposed to
Yeah.
going and finding filtering between like 5 different like things to find one that's a decent version, and then having like the subtitles messed up or like all the shit you have to go through.
They're
with
always
those
in
things.
Chinese
It's like-
subtitles on like
And you always
Right,
hear
there's always-
someone
there's
chowing on
always-
popcorn.
Right. There's always something that, yeah, and it's that I don't know. It's just funny. It kind of remind me of that. He's like, why
He's
would
gonna
you
be
do
like-
that? Why would you pay
like-
for Netflix?
He was
bro?
flabbergasted.
Yeah, he couldn't
I,
believe
I
it
know
when
you don't
told
use
him.
your Fire Stick anymore, but I know you like video games. Have you ever tried emulating your video games? Have you ever tried emulating?
This is new.
Do you emulate your
this is
video
new
games?
thing, bro.
Why don't you just get a cherry pie? Why don't you just have a cherry
Yeah.
pie or a raspberry pie? That's what it is. Cherry.
The new one's the
Why
cherry
don't you
pie.
just eat this
Yeah,
cherry pie and
sequel.
think about all the money you're spending?
The raspberry people are very annoying.
I still
Yeah, they're
remember
awful.
this will crush Brett's soul. I watched the original Avengers, a cam version Because someone
Oh my
recorded
God.
through a theater on a laptop. I watched it on a laptop, a cam version.
On a
I
laptop
was, dude,
webcam.
I was so happy with myself that I was like, dude, I'm watching Avengers for free. This is fucking awesome. Now going back, I'm
Ruined
like,
you.
I
You were
totally,
happy.
I totally destroyed my first experience with that great movie.
Oh
you
my
know?
God. The first
Dude, at the
Avengers,
height-
like 2012.
Yeah, the first one. Yeah.
Oh my God. That's
At
like one
the-
of the best
at the
theater
height-
experiences ever.
Yeah.
And at the height of Lord of the Rings, I went to my grandma's house, and her and my aunt were watching a bootleg version from the flea market of Lord of the
Oh
Rings
no.
on her tube TV. And I was just like shattered walking in. I was like, "This is
You're
like,
like,
one
why
of the
would you
best
do
theatrical
this?"
experiences ever."
Oh,
Watching this
man.
filth, turn that smut off.
Yeah. And I know we were just making fun of people who get mad at other people, but I really hate when I walk into someone's house and they have like horrible technology. I just want to be like, dude, TVs are so cheap. Go get a TCL. They're like $200.
Yeah.
Like you're telling
And
me
tell-
you're gonna use this fat tube TV whenever you could just
Dude.
go pick up a brand new TV for $100?
Yeah.
Brett had a
stream
story.
my
I
games
can't remember
on.
the. I can't remember the story, but Brett, you're saying that like someone was wanting to get a next gen console, but they had like a 720 like TV
Yeah,
still,
that's
like an old TV. You're like, what are you doing? Upgrade your TV first, and then work on like.
You're not gonna
It's
see
just-
it, guys. I just want for anyone listening, you're not gonna see a difference between Horizon Zero or Horizon Forbidden West, the PS4 version, and the PS5 version on a 720p TV. You're not
Right.
gonna, like you're gonna notice maybe some more shadows, and that's about it. Otherwise, upgrade your TV. Like it's ridiculous.
Right. That like the new hardware is like built around like the
4K
amazing technology of
technology
new
and higher
4K technology,
frame
yeah.
rate.
HDR and all that stuff. So if you got an old
Now-
shitty
now
TV,
you know
it's
how
not
I
gonna do you any
feel.
justice.
Now you know how I feel playing below 60 FPS.
Well, no, that's still
Yeah,
acceptable.
See that?
It's-
Yeah.
as long as it's on a modern TV.
Yeah.
I don't mind 30 FPS, to be honest. I don't, but I
Depends on the
also
game.
like 60 as well, like much more, obviously. But yeah, there's this guy I talk to sometimes, and he was prideful about the fact that he got his TV on launch day with the PS3 and hasn't upgraded it ever since. It's the same exact TV that he now uses his PS5 on. And I'm like,
see
dude,
this beauty? She's still kicking.
that's what he's
Cost
like.
Not a
It's like still
single
a great
problem with
TV.
I don't know
Like,
who
dude,
it is,
you are
but I hope they
robbing
leave it to you
yourself.
in their will.
You're robbing yourself. He also still plays Halo 5 instead of Infinite. I don't know what's wrong with the guy. I don't know what's
Yeah,
wrong with him.
that's-
Anyway,
Sounds like
It
a
hurts.
Sony fanboy.
nah, he likes Xbox too.
Kind of guy that likes Whataburger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whataburger's good. Man.
Was that on the
Whataburger's
show, or was
good.
that? Or were we talking about that before?
That was
the show
before.
started?
Yeah,
Okay, no one's
everyone
gonna
watching
know.
Has no idea now.
All right, guys. Let's talk about this Activision-Blizzard drama. We got some juicy story details today.
They're
They
not.
announced that
Yeah.
Xbox and Nintendo have signed, right? It's signed now. Signed a
Yeah,
deal for
apparently it's
if it goes through, Call of Duty is coming to Nintendo platforms for the next 10 years. It's in writing and it is ready to go. Nintendo is on board. And along with that, they put it's not just Call of Duty, but Xbox games, vaguely quoted. What does that mean? What Xbox games? Give us a little more information, guys. Like, can we expect Game Pass? Can we expect xCloud? Can we expect just small indie games? Are they going to try and get bigger stuff running on Switch? Like, or maybe not even Switch, but a future Nintendo device like Sea of Thieves and Halo Infinite and Forza Horizon? I want to know what they're talking about. Because essentially, Xbox will be play all of these games everywhere except PlayStation. Like, that's their motto.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
something like that.
Because I'm really curious what this deal is with Nintendo, and like what all it could entail. Because this is honestly, I didn't expect this from Nintendo.
It's
Eric,
well,
you're
like-
killing me with that picture of Mario, though.
Yeah.
That picture is killing me. It's so ugly.
It's so good.
Uh,
That's good.
Like even like just focusing on the Call of Duty aspect, I'm fascinated just like because they're saying like content parity, feature parity, and it's gonna be
Yeah,
same
what?
release date. Like how? Like
No.
like
Unless
Like-
there really is a hardware upgrade coming out next year that is significant,
Maybe
there's
they
no
know.
way.
Yeah,
I
maybe
mean-
they
Like-
let them in and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna have a pretty significant overhaul with our next
Like,
hardware." So
I
that's
saw
a good
like
point.
a random Facebook comment that was just like, "Oh man, like I can't wait for like the return of PS2 gaming."
Hell
Like,
yeah, dude.
Like
I mean,
that's kind of what I'm imagining here. Like just scaling the graphics back to like looking like Time Splitters 2.
well, we do know
God,
that
man.
Call of Duty now, as a franchise, it was all on different engines before, and now it's going to all be on one engine, right? And that a thing. So maybe the
I didn't
engine that
hear
they
that.
chose, which I can't remember what engine it was. I gotta look it up now.
Yeah, I thought I saw something like that too.
So
But
it's
man,
funny
I gotta look
we
up on Call of Duty.
we joked about how like there's no way Hogwarts Legacy is going to run on the Switch, but Jesus, can you even imagine Call of Duty? That's so much
Unless-
more like stressing.
But imagine
on the
it being the
technology.
Hogwarts Legacy, the xCloud version of it though, which is much better than the cloud version, I would guess.
What's
Okay,
the
guys, I
difference?
found it.
Okay.
Call of Duty franchise to use one game engine, starting with Call of Duty 2022, which came out. That was Modern Warfare 2, right? Yeah. So whatever engine
Yeah.
that was, apparently it's a massively better new engine. New engine. Okay. And maybe this is an engine that's scalable, and possibly maybe it's going to be able to run on Switch, because you have to assume they're going to get it running on Switch, not just the next thing. Because Switch has 140 million units out, like something crazy. Like it just outsold
Yeah.
PS4 recently.
Yeah.
So that's
Not
insane.
in December. Oh, PS4. Never
Yeah, PS4. Like the
Bigger.
history of each console.
mind. Yeah.
And it came out much longer after that. It came out 4 years later after PS4
Yeah.
and outsold it.
Switch sales have been amazing.
Obliterating it. Yeah. Crazy. But
Yeah, I wonder if it's. I mean, it's going to slow down probably in the next year, but I wonder,
Mhm.
like, if they're going to just ride it out another full year. Like next year, what if there's no new hardware again?
It's another one of those things like with Pokemon. It's like I'm sure Nintendo has something like close hardware wise, but I wonder if they're like, well, let's just get everything we can out of the Switch because it's still going strong, you know? It's kind of like the PS5 coming out. Like the PS4 was an incredible success as well. Like I know that started to dip quite a bit before PS5 came out after the announcement, but still.
Yeah.
But I mean, technology wise, it
that's-
just needs to happen.
I think it's
Yeah, it's
also
time.
pretty interesting too, because like it's starting to paint Sony as the bad guy. Like Microsoft
Starting,
is like, hey,
they're
we're
always painted as the bad guy. What are you talking about?
Well, that's because they are the bad
Well, I
mean,
guy
I
in
think
this
like- I
situation.
think like even more so, because you know you have Xbox over here, you know, shaking hands with Nintendo, playing nice, and
Then we got Jim
kind of like-
Ryan flying over to Brussels every Wednesday night to go and
Good old crying
massage
Ryan.
the CMA until they fall asleep.
His boy.
yeah.
What kind of
just like-
massages do you think they're doing? Like on the back or like other places?
Let's
on
not
the
even get
bodies?
into that.
Well, we're going there.
Headed south.
Sorry, Greg. Continue. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, but I was saying like what I feel like yeah, it's kind of like a last minute, like, you know, maybe they were, you know, kind of playing their cards close to their chest, where they're like, hey, if this happens, or if things, you know, is to manage the PR situation, if things get really bad, then we can always go the Call of Duty route. Well, if things got really bad, well, maybe we can start, you know, putting more Xbox games. Maybe it's a curated list of like rare titles, or, you know, Conker's Bad Fur Day, or like something weird where they have, you know, a catalog of games that can run on the Switch. Maybe it's like the original Halo. Like I'm sure if, you know, someone out there that owns a Switch that didn't buy an Xbox in the last 2 generations wants to play OG Halo and it's available on Switch, then why not buy it? Or even, you know, Master Chief Collection. I don't know. I just feel like this is a way to, like, you know, not say like, you know, F you Sony, but do it in a way that, like, you know, shows that they're playing nice with other hardware developers, publishers. And
Speaking of that,
hey, why aren't you doing that too?
speaking of playing nice, Xbox also announced, which isn't sort of in relation to the Nintendo stuff, because this is all, if this all goes through, this is gonna be huge for Nintendo, obviously. Call of Duty, a future Xbox games. Nintendo fans, they want this deal to go through. You get new games from Xbox if this deal goes through. That's a pretty damn big deal. Xbox makes some good games. I know they get a lot of shit, but I have faith in their upcoming games. Anyway, they're also the main thing that the CMA, first off, you guys made fun of me about that. It was not the Country Music Awards. It really is a real thing.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, there is a CMA.
Yeah.
We were wrong.
Anyway.
We needed John there that night to correct us, because Brett's like, what's this deal with like and I was saying FTC, and Brett's like, no, I swear there's a CMA. What does that stand for? I mean,
They say
Greg
Country Music
like
Awards.
the Country Music Awards.
That's probably what I would have
turns out-
gone with as well.
It turns out there is
It's the same
CMA.
organization. It's the same organization. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah.
But anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, Nvidia. The main thing the CMA was worried about was the cloud streaming stuff, to have a monopoly in cloud streaming. Xbox announced a 10-year, I think it was, or maybe it was just an ongoing partnership with Nvidia to put all Xbox games on Nvidia's streaming service, meaning that Call of Duty would be coming, all the Activision games are coming, and all of Xbox's games are coming to Nvidia's streaming service. So to me, where's the monopoly that Sony's worried about now? Because they got Nintendo down, they got streaming down. What else is there? Because Stadia's gone. Stadia did blame it partially on Xbox, even though they were obviously going to fail either way.
They had
But
themselves to
Stadia
blame.
will always live on in my heart.
You never even tried it.
I don't know. My
But,
thing with this is, I mean, you know my stance on it. I'm not even going to really get too into it. My thing with them, like all of a sudden out of nowhere playing nice with Nvidia and Nintendo and making these deals, is like, it just comes off as really insincere. Like if someone like a baseball player made like a racist comment or something, and then like next week donated a whole bunch of money to like some organization or so. It just seems like way insincere. Like would you have done this prior? But it's, you know what I mean? Like it just feels like there's no way they're doing either of these things if they weren't in this
If
position.
they didn't have the pressure.
Yeah.
If they didn't have that pressure. And that's the thing to me, that's like, it kind of is like, it's kind of like an eye roll thing. It's cool. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like, the whole thing with Nintendo, that could end up being something that's really cool. Like playing Call of Duty on the go on your Switch could actually be really cool if they pull it off right. But it just feels a little insincere. That's me though.
Well, here's the thing. Did Jim Ryan, did he seem insincere flying over to Brussels every Wednesday night?
You're going to go back to Brussels 10 times in this episode.
Brussels. I just love the phrase Jim Ryan flying to Brussels. Like, I've heard that so many times, and it's so funny sounding. I don't know why. Flying to Brussels.
There was there was a meme earlier that was like the crying Ryan, but they made him, you know, there's that filter on like I don't know, Instagram or TikTok that makes you look like you're crying. Someone put that filter on Jim Ryan's face, and it's so good, dude. It's so freaking ugly, but it's hilarious.
But yeah,
But
I think
don't
I think they have a good shot now at this going through with the support from Nvidia, which was one of the companies that was concerned. Now they're on board, so that was one of the things holding them back. And then the streaming monopoly, there can't be one now because they're putting their games on there as well, so that they can't withhold. Not only are they not withholding Call of Duty on Nvidia, but they're putting their games on Nvidia as well. Which I just think all this is funny because I don't even, is Nvidia even a super popular service?
That's what surprised me, is like they're making it a huge deal. I mean,
Well,
I know it is,
so how
but
much-
it doesn't.
How much did the Switch sell recently?
I think they're big enough hardware wise to have this service and be able to emulate games without even, you know, it really damaging their bottom line. I mean, they make GPUs for Teslas, they make them for animators, they make them for, you know, the PC market. They made the guts to the Nintendo Switch. which now that you mentioned it, if they have a partnership with Nvidia, who's to say that the next generation of Xbox consoles, if there is one, doesn't go Nvidia instead of AMD?
So sorry, but I was looking this up as you were saying that. The estimation is that the Switch has sold 117 million units, or no, 118 million units right now. And they recently said Call of Duty will be available to 150 million more players. If that's true, wouldn't that mean that if you subtract 117 million, is that suggesting that NVIDIA GeForce is like 30 million something people? Does that number sound like it'd be right? It doesn't. It sounds a bit high.
For the
NVIDIA
Nvidia
GeForce
thing,
Now, the streaming service. Do you think it has 30 million people using it?
XBS in our Twitch chat said cloud service has over 20 million, according to at one point. Nvidia said that.
Really?
So
NVIDIA does?
yeah, they said their cloud service has over 20 million subscribers.
Okay, then there we
Wow.
go. So it is probably roughly around 150 million, all things
Yeah,
said and done.
Which I was like, that's higher than I thought it would be. For
That's a
some
lot
reason.
higher
Yeah.
than I thought it would be. I was
Yeah.
thinking
Yeah.
it's
I don't
like
ever
the
hear
total
anyone
number of
talking
people
about
that know what it is.
Yeah.
But also, like, that comes, like, I think it once you get a Nvidia GPU, you get like a login and stuff, and then you log in, get your game drivers and shit. But you can also use the same login to go to GeForce Now. So I'm just wondering if they're counting those subscribers as people that bought GPUs that also have a GeForce Now account set up. That's
Or maybe they
under
get like,
the GeForce experience.
do new parts come with like free like year-long subscriptions and stuff? I'm assuming they do, and they probably count them.
They'll come with like a free game and like sometimes and like whatever the game that's most like recent at the time, they'll usually bundle it with it, or they'll come with like there's usually some sort of bonus offering with it.
Brett, your daughter behind you literally scared me. That she looked like a
scared me
ghost.
because I heard my door like creak open, and I thought she was sitting next to me. So I was like, "Who is coming in my room?"
For some reason, like when I looked up and I saw her like go behind you, I thought I was looking at behind me, and I saw someone. I was like, "Oh shit!" Like someone's behind me.
Let me just tell you something really quick that happened last week. That's even creepier. We were sitting here, and I have my lights, the PlayStation symbols lights in the background that I always turn on before. And at
The
some
iconic
point
triangle,
last week
X, and square.
Right. The circle is out right now. It goes in and out. But at some point
Typical
in
Sony
like the early
product.
part of there you go. Yeah. At some point earlier on in the episode, all of a sudden it didn't just fall down, it got yanked behind the TV. And there was
That's
no one
weird.
there was no one home last week. Like if
There wasn't a
just
small
fell down,
cat
it would
behind there.
No, there's no animals in the room, nothing. Like it fell
A
down
small
and
child?
was behind. No small children other than the ones in my basement, but they're locked in there. So yeah,
They're
not
locked
getting
in there
out.
deep.
Yeah. But
He
no,
really
isn't that
does
weird
hate
though?
kids. Yeah, that is
As I
crazy.
have my own. But yeah, so I don't know. Strange. I wanted to go back and watch the episode to see when, and I forgot. That just reminded me. So maybe I'll do that tonight.
Yeah. But yeah, Jim's flying to Brussels probably a few more times before this is all
Bill
over with.
Jims.
And
Every time you say that, I imagine him like running into a boardroom, like, "No, don't sign anything."
Stop. There's been a new
Dude.
development.
I posted it in the group chat, that picture of Microsoft's employee, I think it's Brad Smith, holding literally holding the contract that Sony won't
His
sign
face.
with a pen in
Yeah.
his hand. He's like
his
at the
face
presentation.
is
We're
funny
just
too,
waiting
yeah.
for Sony to sign. He's
Yeah.
like holding it up with the pen. It's like,
Yeah.
God, I wish I could be in that room. That sounds
What
hilarious.
a corny ass dog and pony show. I hate this
Yeah.
whole thing, by the way.
Dude, okay,
Like,
so,
I like
so that's what I
talking
was
about
gonna
it, but
say.
I hate that this is everybody's like, oh my god, I gotta side with my Sony console. Like it's a
It's so
it's-
stupid.
game
it's not
console.
really that- It's not really that way for me. Like I know I'm definitely like I definitely am like, I guess you could call me a pony. I love PlayStation. But it's not that way for me. I'm not like, I don't feel the way I feel because it's Xbox doing it. Like I don't know. But
When
what I
was
was
the last time you
say
played your
is-
PS5? Because you played Hogwarts on Xbox, about to play Atomic Heart on Xbox. You just played
Hey, I've been
something else on Xbox. I can't remember.
yeah, no,
'cause
I've been
I-
playing my Xbox a lot. lately. Like, and
Yeah.
part of it's because me and Brett like game share, and so every once in a while he'll be like, "Hey, I want to buy this one on Xbox." But I love my Xbox. I sound like I'm a fanboy. I'm really not. I love my Series X. So, but I just wanted to say this real quick. I think I speak for everyone when I say I'm so ready for this deal to either go through or not go through and be done with it. Like, I'm so tired of hearing about it. Like it was
If it doesn't
exciting
go through, we'll hear about it for the next 5 years.
Seriously, it was exciting for like 2 weeks, and then it became like immediately exhausting.
I mean, what happens if it doesn't go through? Does Xbox, like, do they buy something else? Do they give up?
Yeah.
Like, are they done?
You know they will.
They'll
but
just buy someone else.
Point,
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
they probably buy like
purchase
3
EA.
publishers that still don't equal the size of Activision.
They could buy EA, Square Enix, and Capcom.
Yeah.
That'll be the price of Activision. I mean, the thing is, I can't remember what I was going to say. I had it and then I lost it. We can move on to the next news piece. But yeah, I thought that this whole thing has been really annoying and boring and stupid. Until today, we finally got some juicy drama. I thought it was pretty cool. Just seeing this go down is kind of fun, you know?
Oh, Jim Ryan flying to Brussels. Tell you what.
Yeah. I hope he has it on his grave. Flew to Brussels.
Eric, I need you to find the Jim Ryan actually crying face. I'll see if I can find it while you guys are talking about the next topic.
Hope that's a quote.
Brett, did that say? Did the word say for that picture Jim Ryan flying home from Brussels and he was crying? Was that what the word were?
No,
that's what I think I saw.
No, it said Jim crying.
That's it.
And it said Jim crying, and it was literally like that Instagram filter of someone crying, and it looked freaking ridiculous.
Because I think someone added him to like a plane. I could have sworn I saw him in a plane crying. Like, I swear, I'm not making this up.
No, that was a real image.
I glanced at it.
That wasn't.
I'm sure there's many.
Yeah,
I'm
lots
sure there's
of memes.
Many Jim Ryan.
It was him
crying Ryan there. Dance move, Saving Private Ryan.
Flying to Brussels.
Jim flying to Brussels, Ryan. All right, here we go. Next topic. Nintendo. We have a state of play coming up where they're going to go over PlayStation VR. Mary's comes tomorrow. Brett's probably comes next week because Sony hates them.
Yeah. I'm getting.
Oh,
I ordered one.
I didn't know you got it.
Yeah,
nice.
I didn't know either. Cool.
Did it.
That's cool.
Now, what was going through your mind before you made that stupid mistake, Mary?
Actually, it's just gonna be a slightly stupid or slightly less stupid mistake because I've been holding out on VR for a very long time, like just waiting. Like, was it gonna stick around? Or was it gonna be like a, like a gimmicky
like a fad
sort of thing? Yeah, like a fad or like a gimmick. It stuck around, and then like I've seen really good things about the VR too, and I was like, okay, it's time. I'm gonna get a VR headset.
Nice.
Yeah, my thing is I still haven't ordered mine actually. I had like a pretty expensive car repair that came out of nowhere a few days ago, right as I was about to buy it, and so that kind of derailed me for a little bit, but I'm going to get it for sure. But I'm kind of the same, Mary. I thought the idea of VR was really interesting and really cool. But I was like, it just doesn't seem practical. It doesn't seem like it's going to have any staying power. And surely like after like this first generation of like the PSVR and Oculus Rift, they're just going to kind of fizzle out, and like, it's getting better. Yeah. And I also wanted to wait till I saw reviews on the PSVR 2, and the reviews are actually pretty great. Like some of the technology and like the hardware that I know Brett is going to make fun of me for, but it's got like the haptics and stuff that's supposed to be like totally more, like way more immersive than any VR experience before. And
Digital Foundry made it look really awesome.
Yeah. No, it sounds like it's a significant step forward in VR, which is kind of that pretty much told me right there that like this is the one to get if I'm going to do it.
Yeah, and it's like half the price of like the Steam one. The Steam one is, I think, what people would say is like probably the best tech spec wise, but
like as far as
it's like $1,000.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how VR goes. Yeah. Yeah,
I was tell-
PSVR 2 is like really expensive compared to regular console stuff, but for VR stuff is like very affordable.
It's right. Middle of the road. Yeah.
Huh.
The main thing
But with
people say
high-end
was, well,
specs.
yeah, but right. But the main thing people say is, well, you do have to have a PS5 as well, which is true. So, I mean, technically, you got to have 2 pieces of hardware, but I'm guessing most people that buy it already have the PS5 anyway.
Yeah.
You know, so. But
Yeah.
I'm excited, man. Like my son plays his Oculus Quest 2 quite a bit, and like he loves it. And I've thrown that thing on and played the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners a little bit, and it's fun. But the main thing for me was like graphically it's pretty poor, like a pretty big step backwards. Like you could tell it was like it just didn't have the power. Like graphically it was pretty rough. So to know that you can still be immersed in a VR world, but 4K instead of like less than 720p resolution has me pretty interested.
There's some small benefits if you hook it up to your PC, which I've
Don't they have a
Quest.
streaming option too? Like
to stream what you're playing.
yeah, to like stream a game so like graphically it can look better than what the hardware can actually perform. I think you can stream games
I don't
too.
know.
I don't know. I bought like the because I was gonna get the cord that they sell for the Quest 2 is like I think it's like $70, but then I bought like a $15 one off Amazon, and it plugs into your PC and uses your PC to give you better graphics.
Yeah,
It's decent.
Yeah, I was telling Mary this earlier with the like when the PSVR 1 launched, you could immediately tell it wasn't like it was behind the other guys on the market.
Yeah.
With this
Yeah.
one, it seems like it's actually ahead of what's currently
Yeah.
available, which is great. This is what they need.
Yeah.
The price point was my only thing. If it had like Horizon, Resident Evil 4 VR, and Half-Life Alyx like day one, I would have probably got it. Like that's 3 games I
Yeah.
really, really want to play.
It's not Horizon. Well, it's Horizon Call of the Mountain. It's a separate story.
Yeah,
Right.
And that's
Right.
the bundle
what
I
I'm talking
got. So
yeah.
You did get
'cause
them.
I
Yeah,
want to
I-
play that.
That'll be the first game I play on it too, just because it looks pretty good. I do hear that unfortunately there's like way too much climbing in Horizon Call of the Mountain, which
Yeah.
like
Oh, really?
from the review I
Mountain
saw, like
climbing
it's
simulator.
yeah, like the review I saw, it's like at first it's kind of cool, like climbing this large mountain and looking over it, but he's like after a little while it starts to get kind of old. But like the heavy set pieces are like next to none. Like some of the best stuff he's seen in VR from the review I
Nice.
watched.
If we can get back to linear action set piece Sony in the form of VR, I'm down because I'm tired of their open world formula. I want to go back to the old days. So if it is like that, then that sounds great, and I want to get it sooner or later. Like I honestly do. It's just
Yeah.
pretty damn expensive, and there's not that many games I want to play on it right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, my position has never changed this entire time, which is that eventually I will get it for Resident Evil Village and like
Resident Evil
that's it.
Village.
Yeah. I'm
That's
like,
been
do I want
my
my
singular motivation.
I'm like, do I want my first time playing Resident Evil Village to be like normal or in VR? So I've got
You
some
want
time
it to
figure that
be
out.
you want it to be in the brand new third person mode, the definitive experience
Oh
for
my
Resident Evil.
gosh, I forgot
Bro,
about
I still
Have
want
you
to
tried that out yet?
Sounds nauseating.
No, I still want to play that.
Because it comes with the DLC, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we should get that because I want to
For
play
sure.
the DLC and try the third person.
Mm-hmm. Resident Evil 8 was great. It was
I loved
like,
it.
It reminded me so much of Resident Evil 4. My only like thing I didn't like about it was the first person. So like I should have waited
I
and
love
just
that.
played it in third person, and I would have freaking
Dude,
loved it way more.
See, I'm torn on both sides because to me, like OG, like Resident Evil is third person, but they have freaking knocked it out of the park with 7 and 8 in first person. So like I don't even know anymore like what I would prefer. I've loved both 7 and 8. They've just done an incredible job.
My hope is that the next release, they just straight up offer both from the start. That would be awesome.
Yeah. That would be cool.
And I thought it was really cool in Resident Evil 3 in the intro. It starts in first person, and that was really cool when they transitioned to it being in third person. I was like, it would be cool if they could just do that.
That's right.
Like you could just
the
switch
remake.
between them. Yeah,
That's
Resident
right.
Evil 3 remake. Which was really
I
good and
guess if it-
underrated and honestly better than Resident Evil 2 Remake. That's right, I said it. Let's move on.
Blasphemy.
Dude, I don't know if you're that far off. Like, I still think Resident Evil 2 Remake is better, but people gave Resident Evil 3 Remake entirely too much shit just because it was short. Like, I thought it was a great game, to be honest. But
Yeah.
I know we're
Honestly,
kinda getting
all
into
it
the weeds
needed,
here, but
all it needed was the clock tower that they removed. They should not have removed the clock tower. It should have been in the game. It would have extended it, and it technically wouldn't have removed all that much content if the clock tower was there.
Isn't it there? But it's like just a set piece, and you see it. I vaguely remember that part. You like see it
I
before
think you
head,
see it. Yeah.
before like it goes to the next chapter or something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, we can stop talking about the state of play because this is a Nintendo podcast where we talk about everything, basically.
I do want to say regarding the state of play though, like I'm almost giving up hope that there's not going to be like another big massive PlayStation showcase like they did a few of.
You don't think there'll be
Like the
another one
state
like
of-
later this year?
I don't know because they had 2 in a row that were both at the like right before Christmas and they're like the September in 2021 and 22 they were both in September, or sorry, 20 and 21 they were in September, and then last year there was nothing all year. But we sprinkled in a couple small state of plays that were like third party stuff and like indie stuff, which is cool. But man, I'm starting to wonder, like, are we ever going to get one of those big, massive PlayStation showcases again?
I hope so.
That's why
'cause those are
today.
fun.
That's why today, when I heard it was state of play, like me being a big PlayStation fan, I didn't even know that was happening until like I read it on the chat with you guys. I was like, wait, there's a state of play tomorrow or Thursday.
Yeah.
What I do is I just
Yeah.
set accounts that I care about for notifications on Twitter so that I just see them whenever they announce stuff. But
I
that might
usually
get
just have
annoying
you
to a
that
lot of
tells
people.
me, like, if I miss it, you usually tell me. And you failed me today, Brett. You knew I would have been interested in the state of play, and you didn't
I
tell
didn't think
me.
you'd care that much. I didn't think you'd care.
Break up
I'm
with
You're not a
him.
starting
big
to think that our-
PlayStation
I'm
guy.
s- I'm starting to think that our friendship, if it was on a graph, it peaked last year, and it's just going down now. You
No,
know?
Brett, what it was is that in the group chat, someone already linked it. So I was like, he'll see it. I don't have to send it to him.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I was busy today at work, so sometimes the group chat I have a hard time following if I'm working.
Yeah. But yeah, we can move on to what we're playing. It's a little early, but I'm sure we have a lot to say about Mary's journey through Persona 4.
Dead Space. Oh.
Well, and Dead Space, but
I'm more excited about
Persona
Dead Space. You guys-
So I've gotten to the bathhouse. I was telling Brett earlier that like I think it was Eric or somebody in our group chat had mentioned like I wonder what she's gonna think of the bathhouse, and I got there and I'm like, this is not the direction I thought that this moment was gonna go. I'm still working my way through it, but I really like the game.
It's so good.
fun. Yeah, like over the weekend, like or last week, I was just like looking forward to the weekend because I was like, I'm gonna sit on my couch, I'm gonna be a couch potato, I'm gonna play Persona. I'm really excited, and like I'm of course getting obsessed with like fusing personas again and like trying to get better ones. But then like the shuffle time thing, I realized I think is gonna bite me in the ass a bit because I will give up half my experience for like a fancy looking card. And I'm like, I'm giving up so much experience sometimes. I'm just like, give me a fancy card, give me more HP. I'm like, or give me more money. So, but I'm really enjoying it. I really like it. And then yeah, I started Dead Space Remake and it terrifies me. Like
How much did you play of that, by the way? Just curious. I'm sure you didn't play too much.
I think I got to chapter 3, the beginning.
Okay, that's a decent amount.
I played about like 4 hours.
All right,
I
that's
saw
not
the
bad.
baby things. I hate it. Like I saw out of the corner of my eye the first
You
time I
talk
saw one of
about-
those the little babies with like the tentacles
They have
that
like
come
the
out.
tentacles.
Yeah,
Okay,
those things
yeah.
are so annoying.
Yeah, I
I
fucking
saw
hate
it.
those.
Out of the corner of my eye, and I was like, what the hell was that? And I had paused the game. I'm streaming it, and I was just like, there's babies, and I can't. I was like, why is it so creepy? And then they crawl the ceiling, and then I lose track of where they
Yeah.
are because something else popped out of somewhere.
That's the frustrating thing with them is they
Ugh.
crawl on you're trying to like fight these massive monsters on the ground and then they're climbing up walls and you lose track of them and you're constantly
Yeah.
getting hit by them. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then like I'll hear something and I'm like, I was like, okay, am I crazy? Did I actually hear something? And then nothing happened. So then I keep going forward and then I hear something again. Like the atmosphere in that like really messes with you. It's so good.
That game that game purposefully messes with you with like its sound design. There was times I'd be
Yeah.
going around a corner and I'd hear like a bang and I'm like, fuck, there's gonna be something. And then you turn the corner, there's nothing. You're like, wait. So it's just literally messing with me.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you're not sure if it's a trigger that they set to happen like in the game
Right.
or if it's an actual enemy that's
Right.
on its way to kill you.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
So I'm scared of it, but I'm enjoying it.
But back to Persona.
Back to
What's like who's your favorite character?
Ooh. Oh, Chie did say
Who are you trying to
something.
bang? Can you bang in that game?
They're all high
Kinda.
school students. Okay, hold on. The uncle though. The uncle's hot.
So again, who are you trying to bang?
Yeah, it's okay. So
I
back
was
to
like,
Brett's
hold on,
question.
there is an
You're
age
a high school
appropriate.
student too.
Yeah.
that makes
Technically.
sense.
Anyway,
Brett's like, yeah, that makes it, and then he stopped.
Yeah.
Have the feds
I
knocking on
figured
your
I
door.
I didn't feel like hearing the boom, boom, my door.
Hey, Pito, where's your
Yeah.
your fire
But-
stick?
Like they come confiscate my laptop and fire stick.
Yeah, they find your fire
We'll be
stick
taking
and-
those.
The fire stick that I haven't
Raspberry.
used in 3 years.
no,
Sorry,
but what
Mary.
did Chie? No, I'm trying to think of like what was the line that like Chie said. Like, she was just grossed out by something. She's like, I'm gonna stomp him in his stupid face, and she was just so passionate about like, I'm gonna kick its ass. And I was like, I like Chie. I like her. I like her
That's
attitude. So, but yeah, I think
Yeah,
she's
and-
my favorite so far.
That's awesome. Did you know that Chie is a recast in Golden?
No.
They redid her entire dub in the remake. Isn't that
Oh,
crazy?
wow.
And
I
but-
never heard the
but-
original, so
she sounds pretty similar. I don't know why they did it.
Oh,
but-
really?
That's
Okay.
that's such a
Love-
Brett
really
Madlock.
angry about that recast.
That's such a Brett
I'm not angry
Madlock
because
thing to know.
I played Golden.
Yeah.
I played Golden and fell in love with the character, so I don't mind. But if I back then had I known that they replaced one of the actresses, I wouldn't even have played the game. I'm just kidding.
Hey, we haven't had a Brett
You're not
Medlock,
kidding.
rant in a long time.
No, we haven't had a voice actor rant in a while.
We should
I mean,
probably
I feel
keep
like
it
I
that
talked
way.
about it with Resident Evil 4. Like the voice acting is
Flip the
not
switch. Flip the
not
switch.
doing it for me.
Do it.
Yeah, sorry, Eric. Mute.
I can see it
Mary,
building up.
It's just they
It's building up.
just
inside
kind
you.
they don't understand. Continuity matters. Performance matters. All right.
There was a meme I saw last night, and he was like, "This is me screaming to a whole bunch of people that don't know what I'm talking about, and like this is me getting excited about something I'm passionate about, screaming to a bunch of people that don't know what I'm talking about." And it reminded me of like Brett going through his rants, like talking about this stuff that like 90%
Yelling
of
at the
people are like, "What
sky.
is he on about right now?"
Yeah.
Old man yells at sky.
Mary,
Yeah.
what's the character who joined your party like most recently?
Yukiko, the long dark
Okay.
hair.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just met Kanji, and that's who is like the bathhouse, like
Okay,
yeah, world dungeon thing. So,
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I was
Mary,
a little,
do you
I'm a
wanna know
little fuzzy
another-
on the chronology?
Do you want to know another interesting voice acting fact about Persona?
Yes.
So Troy Baker played him in Persona 4.
It's so weird.
You know the famous
Kanji.
Troy Baker, Joel.
Yeah.
Kanji. Yeah, I didn't mention Kanji, of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he also did the voice in Persona 4 Golden, I believe, like the new tracks that they added. But then, literally midway through Persona 4 Golden, the animation, Matthew Mercer just randomly takes over Kanji halfway through the show. It's really
Weird.
strange.
What?
Like, and you can
Matthew
see
Mercer,
the
the-
scene. Yeah, Matthew Mercer, the voice
Wait,
actor.
it literally
what else is
happens
he
in the
famous
middle of
for?
an episode.
It happens in the middle of the episode. You hear the change.
What? That's
Yeah,
weird.
it's funny.
Hey guys,
What-
what's going on?
why can
I
I-
just noticed something.
Matthew Mercer is really good at imitating Troy Baker. So you can barely tell.
That's
That's
but
crazy.
yeah.
that's
and then-
bizarre.
and
I'm
then
surprised
Matthew
you're not
Mercer-
irate about that.
I mean, Matthew Mercer has been Kanji ever since he like that switchover, because Kanji's been in multiple like spinoffs since then, and Matthew Mercer has done him ever since. Which I don't know why Troy stopped. Maybe his price went up because he got all high and mighty after doing Joel.
Another thing PlayStation's at fault for. See,
Yep.
there's a
Right?
theme to every episode.
That's more of a Troy problem, but I mean, not really a problem. He
blamed
brought the
The
character
Last
to
of
life
Us.
though, in the original, huh?
You blame The Last of Us, so that makes it a Sony
Mm.
problem.
I don't know, but it doesn't bother me that much because I really like both of them as voice actors, Matthew Mercer and Troy Baker, and they're probably decent friends. I want to say, I'm not friends, but like decent acquaintances. So I don't think there's any
Frenemies?
bad blood. Whereas the old voice actress of Chie, she was like upset, like she didn't get to come back and be Chie again. They just replaced her like she never existed in the entire game.
Huh.
That's
They
weird.
pulled a Bayonetta 3.
I just assumed she
Yeah.
couldn't come back for some reason.
Yeah.
I
It's
think
weird when they do stuff like that.
I remember watching the interview with the new actress, and she was talking about how she didn't know that like she was just like straight up replacing someone at first.
Yeah, I mean,
It
like,
makes
she
you-
wouldn't
it-
have known that.
It makes you wonder why they do those things. It's just like with the voice actor that played the original Leon. He wanted to come back and voice Leon again, and they
Matthew
turned him
Mercer.
down. Exactly. Oh, that's Matthew Mercer. Yeah. So
he
like,
literally.
it
I
makes
just want to say this. I think the only time on record he has said that he wanted to come back for Resident Evil 2 remake was talking to me on Twitter. No one reported it. I didn't see anything about it. But he was like, "Yeah, I was supposed to come back. I wanted to, and it didn't work out because of Capcom's new, like their new their whole agency change that they were going through for American voice actors."
his
so they went
comment
cheaper.
to Brett in that tweet created a monster within Brett, and he's never
Yep.
stopped ever since.
Literally, I was pissed. That and the voice actress. It's so funny. It all revolves around Resident Evil. The voice actress of the old voice actress of Claire did a very real and open interview about how she just got replaced. She was pissed. She was like straight up cussing out Capcom and saying like they just hired a bunch of cheaper, younger actors and replaced all the old guard. And she was pissed because continuity matters, history matters, what did I say? Performance matters. Anyway.
But I mean, at the same time, it does. Like, unless you're like someone playing a kid, like Atreus, like if they made another God of War in this series and Atreus stayed young, like that voice actor can't keep playing him, right? So
Yeah,
unless it's
you
like something to do
pitch
with
correct it
age,
down.
like why would they even change unless it's like a dispute with contract or money or something? But it doesn't sound like that was the case with either of those that you just mentioned.
I think he probably usually is.
It usually is money. Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, didn't
Money.
we say the Japanese voice actor for Goku's like
Stayed-
what 85 years old?
In Japan, it's a totally different
He's
scene.
old.
They
And
actually
he's playing
respect
like 5
history
different
and
characters.
performance.
Yeah.
I believe it's a she, Masako.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
woman.
Mizawa.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's an
she-
awesome
She's-
clip of her going from Goku to Gohan to Goten in
That's
like
crazy.
one conversation with herself.
That's
It's like
funny.
a clip from a
awesome.
festival. Yeah, it's awesome.
That's some
And then-
serious
and then she's-
talent, dude.
And then she sleeps for like 12 hours a day.
She's got to be loaded. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
At this point, she doesn't
I
even
just-
need to do it. It's just passion.
Probably
Yeah,
has real
That
sensu
way.
beans.
yeah.
I really respect how they care in Japan. Like since the very first Japanese actor that played Leon Kennedy still plays Leon Kennedy. Same with
Really?
almost every other character in the
Yep.
games. Yeah, but they didn't start
That-
doing the
that
Japanese
is-
voiceover till
that is
later. They,
weird.
they did
Ah,
American at
okay.
first.
Okay.
Yeah. Which I think is kind of funny. Like how in Japan when Resident Evil 2 came out, it was American voice actors for them with subtitles. And I just think that's interesting. Unless I'm remembering that wrong, but I could have sworn there was no Japanese voiceover for like even Resident Evil 4. They also had the same voice actor as the American version.
I have no idea.
But the subtitles were
Bro,
different.
were you there?
Like even the writing was different than what he was actually saying in the game, which I think is funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, we tend to talk about this a lot.
You tend to
I don't know
You
why.
started it
I
tonight.
wonder why.
Greg got the
We?
ball
What is this?
rolling.
We?
Speaking of Dragon Ball Z, John.
Yeah.
John's officially playing The Breakers Season 2 after trying to torture us all to buy this game. How's it going?
No, he wasn't trying to torture us. He was intimidating us.
Yeah.
I just think it'd be a real good world if you guys played Breakers Season 2, and if you didn't, I don't know. I just kind of imagine things could get bad for some of you.
Accidents happen.
Yeah.
You know?
I can imagine maybe there's a world that you don't live in it anymore. I don't know. Things can happen.
Things can happen, man. Yeah, and I mean, I know some of you have families. But anyway, no, yeah, I've played a good chunk of rounds of Season 2 now, where the two big new things that they added to the Breakers, in addition to like some little nice quality of life things, is you can play as Vegeta now as the Raider, meaning he's like in Dead by Daylight terms, he's like the murderer guy who goes and
I
kills
was gonna say,
everybody.
wait, he's the bad guy then.
Yeah.
Oh.
But he comes in like a group. You start playing as a Cyberman, and after the Cyberman, you're Nappa at level 2, and then you level up again, and then you're Vegeta. And if you do like some shenanigans, you can optionally go to level 4 and become the Great Ape, a giant Saiyan. And I've only played as Vegeta, I think 3 times, and each time I haven't transformed. It's a combination of like I was doing well without it, and I kept forgetting it was a thing. So next time I really got to remember to transform. That's the whole reason I'm playing as Vegeta. I just want to see the giant ape, but I keep forgetting.
I want to see
So-
the giant ape.
You got to play like on average like 5 rounds as like a regular survivor in order to then like get priority to be selected as the killer. That's basically how the game works.
Does it go in order, or is it kind of like random? Like it's whoever gets to play as
so-
the killer.
Right. So like there's literally a thing it calls priority. So you start at priority 0 for
Okay.
if you want to be the raider, which is
Gotcha.
the killer guy. And like each time your priority goes up. And I think just like whoever has the highest priority in that set of players gets to go. And like on
Gotcha,
average,
gotcha,
it's
okay.
like you're probably playing about 5 matches before you get to be the raider, which I don't think is that unreasonable. And again, I like playing as the survivor too. So like, it's not like torture to play this. I enjoy it regardless. So that's all cool. And then there's a new level that I'm still getting the hang of. It has like some generic name, like the Rocky Field. That might be the name, but it's fun. Last I checked, it's still on sale in the Switch eShop, potentially other places. You can
Like how much?
25%
is it?
off.
I want to say it's like $15 right now. Breakers,
Okay.
Nintendo.com. Enter.
Oh, it's $20 on Xbox.
I would buy it, but I just don't know anyone that plays it.
Yeah, I don't know one single person.
Now, to be fair, it is actually it doesn't have crossplay. So I play on Switch, so you
Does
actually
it?
would have to get it on Switch. Yeah,
shit.
so it's too bad.
Damn.
But
The performance on
Switch-
Switch though.
It's not bad actually. You'd be surprised.
okay.
On Switch, it's $15 until like through the 26th. So you can play the game and be on the right side of history, or you can not play the game. And it's kind of like being like, one of those people in Germany where it's like, well, I'm not putting up the Nazi flag, but I'm not saying anything against them either.
Jesus.
That's kind of you if you don't play. So
Jeez. Brett, you ready to go?
Greg told me what I said was inappropriate, and then John just went and fucking kicked it right in the fucking balls.
Yeah. I was like, and the lawyers are back.
No,
This show.
I'm just saying it's a good game. That's all.
Yeah,
should probably
no,
play it.
I love how into it you are, because it's such like a kind of like a random game. I mean, it's not. It's well known, but it's like compared to all the stuff out, like this is what you're playing. I love it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, at least they're
yeah.
supporting it with new content. Shit.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And like when I see people like not talking about the game, it makes me more stubborn to talk about it more. Like I'll like manufacture my own interest out of spite. You know? That's where I'm at.
We got a
Oh,
couple
cool.
comments I wanted
All
to
right.
go over.
We have a YouTube comment right
I was just
here.
about to say that.
Candondor Victor, and I don't know if I pronounced that right, but I appreciate this
You
comment.
just said a
Says,
slur,
"Breakers
I think.
is way more fun than DBD, meaning Dead by Daylight, and I haven't
Ooh,
played
Mary.
Dead by
Ooh,
Daylight.
Mary.
And this
Ooh.
person's
that make you feel?
completely right."
Mary, have at it.
Whoa.
I have so many hours in Dead by Daylight.
Those are shots fired.
Yeah, I enjoy Dead by Daylight a lot. So,
Yeah,
but
very good
I
thing.
checked
Yeah.
this game out specifically at PAX West when I went like last year because it was like an asymmetrical game, and I was like, oh,
Right.
it's Dead by Daylight, kind of, you
Yeah.
know. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
but also
Yeah,
Dead by Daylight has Leon Kennedy, so
that's true.
I bet it
Greg?
doesn't have Matthew Mercer playing Leon Kennedy.
It is funny that game is like horror Smash Bros.
It is.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a cool.
No,
angle.
Dead by Daylight has done not to like. I know we're talking about breakers, but Dead by Daylight has done some cool things with like all the different IPs that it has used. It's like you said, it's like the Smash version of it, but it's brought in like some really cool like movies and TV shows, and like it that makes me want to try it just because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, someday I would like to give it a try just to see how it compares to
Okay.
to the breakers. Like, because I know you wondered talking to me a million years ago, like how the scale compares, like the size of the
Mhm.
map. Because like the breakers is like a really large map, and I have to
Yeah.
imagine that the map is considerably smaller in Dead by Daylight. Since
Yeah.
nobody's flying.
I just want
Yeah.
to say that they did not bring over the voice actor for Resident Evil 2 Remake to voice Leon in Dead by Daylight. It's some random dude who's the
Oh.
vocalist of a metal band named Riley
Greg,
McShane.
why did you do this tonight, Greg? You had to go there tonight.
What?
You had to. You opened up a can of worms that can't be closed now.
No,
I
Brent
bet in
was
the
opening his
Japanese
own can
version-
of worms.
I bet in the Japanese version of Dead by Daylight, it's the same
Yeah,
voice
I bet
actor
you're
as always.
I bet you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I got
Japanese
it.
do it right.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I bet it is. Yeah.
I don't know.
Didn't they do American Horror Story at one point? And then they had Twisty was one of the Mary
Yeah.
For Dead by
on
Daylight.
Dead by Daylight.
I
Didn't they
think.
do American Horror Story, or am I wrong on that? I thought they had Twisty in there for American Horror Story.
No. Are you talking about which one's Twisty? I haven't seen American Horror Story in a while.
Okay,
Like the-
he's
the
from
clown.
Freak Show. He's the clown. That's like
Oh,
that
there is a
creepy as hell, like
clown,
the
but it's not the
face.
one from American Horror Story.
Okay.
Wasn't
Yeah.
weren't they adding something new? Didn't that show up on Twitter? They teased something for Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the new killer though. It's a new original. It's not like a licensed character, but
Oh,
kind of.
Originality canceled.
Yeah.
What's originality anymore? No, I'm just not happy with the design choice.
Mm.
So, but
what are you not happy with?
like she's like this like what do they call her? I can't remember what they called her, but everyone thought they were gonna go like full like mechanical cyborg kind of thing, and instead she's just got this weird like hammered metal mask, and she's not like in like an arm attachment that looks kind of Wolverine-y, and we're like, okay, so you just took like a human and like stuck things on her. She's not like a cyborg or
Yeah.
mechanical.
Oh.
Like I think people were wanting more like mechanical cyborgy horror elements, and it
Yeah.
just looks
Mm.
kind of pieced together in a
Goofy.
funky way. Yeah. I
Yeah,
think they
like,
could have
what's
made her
up with the
scarier.
bedazzled mask.
Yeah, I thought it was bedazzled, but no, it's supposed to be like a hammered texture, I guess. But yeah, it looks like a bejeweled metal mask.
Weird.
Did you guys know that the
by
actor
Dazzle.
from the Saw movies who plays Jigsaw, the voices for
Jesus
the
Christ.
actual
Oh my
voice of
God.
Jigsaw, does the
Now you're
voice in
just
the game?
Now he's just Googling shit in the background trying to come up with it.
No, we were talking about Dead by Daylight. That's Jigsaw, the real Jigsaw.
He's like Dead
in
by Daylight voice actress.
Well, here's the thing. They listed. They have Albert Wesker's actor listed, of course, a different voice actor, not the one from before. But they don't have Leon's listed on behind the voice actors. Anyway, that's the last time I talk about it. I promise.
No,
Yeah,
Mhm.
right.
Sure.
it's not.
Promise breaker.
Yeah.
Anyway, beyond that, I'm in the home stretch kind of Ghost of Tsushima, but
Nice.
I bought Like a Dragon Ishin today, but I should probably just try to finish Ghost of Tsushima first. Switch from
Yeah,
one
before you get
Japanese
sucked in.
language game to another.
Yeah.
The DLC like additional island that is a Ichi Island. What is it called? I think
Yeah, I
Iki
forgot.
Island.
Yeah, I have this
Yeah.
PS5 version, so I do have that too.
Yeah,
I guess I
it's
should
pretty
play
good. It's
that
not.
too.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's not like an absolute must if you're wanting to get to the Like a Dragon, but it's good.
Yeah,
I
like
never
always
played
boomerang
that,
back.
surprisingly.
Yeah,
I've played like every expansion, like every DLC for every major Sony game, but I did not play that for some reason.
Yeah, I liked it.
I want to get.
I just
back to
love
it.
that
I
game,
feel like
man.
I'm gonna jump in and be clueless now that it's been so long.
I just feel like whenever there's like a new IP, the second one is always like substantially better than the first. And if I liked the first Ghost as much as I did, I'm dying to know how much better it can get, because I loved the first one.
They're also
So,
making a
yeah,
movie or a
right.
show or something.
Yeah, I'm not. I
Oh,
don't
yeah, I
really care
forgot about
that.
that. Yeah, I think there is a
Yeah.
movie.
Are they gonna
Forgot
speak in English? Like, how are they gonna do this?
I hope not.
Yeah, it'll be a
Keep it
really
authentic.
faithful Japanese movie where everyone's only speaking English.
I really wonder. Like, I just can't picture them doing only Japanese.
Wait,
Well,
did
there was,
Scorpion do English in Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, it was a mix,
movie?
wasn't it?
Maybe. What?
I want to
so
say I
there was-
vaguely
remember.
remember that bothering me.
No, I don't think so. I don't think he did.
So,
Maybe not.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
well, I mean, he might have spoken some English to his ancestor at the end of the movie.
He
that's
said,
that's
"Get
the
over
part
here"
I'm
in
trying
English.
to think of. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. All right. So while he was dead, he learned English.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
So-
He had to be
if
doing
he
something
said-
all that time.
if he said "get over here" in Japanese, then that would be a problem. So he had to say that in English.
But it would be authentic.
Yeah, that one scene.
What they could do in a movie like this was, I think it was the movie The Hunt for Red October, because like in like film circles, it was kind of a famous thing where I think the movie takes place on like a Soviet sub, so the movie should all be in Russian, and I think the movie like starts in Russian, but then it like does something like where like kind of like zooms in on someone, or it zooms in on something, it like focuses, and when it zooms back out, all of a sudden people are speaking English, and it's just sort of like this clue in like that, like okay, like for the
Now you can
convenience of
understand.
this movie, yeah, we've
That's cool.
shifted,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
So they
fair.
could do something like that for Ghost of Tsushima.
You know what's
Yeah.
weird is I don't know if any of you guys, I know Brett doesn't, any of you guys watch Vikings, the original Viking series. So they do this thing where they allude to these people speaking different languages, but it's all in English. And what I mean is like the Vikings are trying to invade Paris, and when like the like some of the councilmen in Paris meet some of the Vikings, they don't understand each other. So he's like, I don't understand the language this man is speaking, but they're both speaking English. So it's
Oh
so
my God.
confusing.
Oh, really?
It's so weird. Like they
That's
don't
really
dub anything.
funny.
They don't,
That's
yeah. So
weird.
it's like once you like get it, then you're like, okay, now I see what they're doing. But at first I was so confused. I was like, why is he pretending that he doesn't understand English?
There's this
It's-
there's this part in Persona 5, like the characters, they're speaking English, but they're technically supposed to be speaking Japanese, but in the story they're talking about their English and how good they can speak it. So the actors out of nowhere like, I like hamburgers, and it's like
And they sound terrible from what they've been sounding like.
But it's the same voice actor, like clearly speaking English, and then pretending like they can't speak English.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, stuff like that's weird.
Yeah, it is. But it works. It's fine. You have to do it sometimes.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Whatever works.
Yeah. Next up, we got Brett beat Dead Space. What'd you think about that? I thought you already talked about that.
I did, but we didn't do what we were playing last week.
Oh,
so I didn't get to say it. So yeah, for any updates for anyone who gives a shit about me, which I'm sure nobody does, but if anyone does, I beat Dead Space.
I care.
Yeah, Brett cares. I should have.
I beat Dead Space too. I don't think I talked about it either. It's good.
Yeah, I think we both beat it pretty close to each other. I really, really liked Dead Space a lot, and even more than I thought I was going to. Like if I'm comparing remakes of all time, it's up there. Honestly, like it was a phenomenal remake, and I never even played the first one, so I guess I don't have like anything to go off of necessarily. But and apparently it's fairly different from the original. Like it goes different directions in a few different ways. So it's not like the most one-to-one faithful remake, but it was a fantastic game. I just loved it, man. Like it was just I don't know. It was one of those games that passed the test where like if I'm not playing it, I'm thinking about it. It was one of those that like I just was always wanting to get back to my Xbox and keep playing it. You hear that? To my Xbox and keep playing.
Yeah, that was the game I couldn't think of. When's the last time you turned on that PS5? You don't even remember.
Dude, it has been a minute. It's been Forspoken is the last time.
Oh yeah,
and that wasn't
that long ago.
Yeah, like
you better watch out. Your Sony sign in the back is gonna fly off the shelf.
I know that's probably why the
pushed behind the TV.
That's probably why the circle faded out. Is the less I play it, like slowly dying behind me.
Yeah, it's the spirit of Jim Ryan flying over you to Brussels.
Jim Ryan's
disappearing every time you look at the picture.
But no, man, like it was awesome. I loved it, and I'm torn because I wanted to do Dead Space 2, but we just beat that. Me and Brett both beat the original Dead Space 2 last year, and I thought that was great. So I'm kind of torn. Like, do I want them to do Dead Space 2 next or do something else? Because that team did an amazing job.
I don't think they need to do Dead Space 2. It's still a masterpiece.
I
like
think
it's literally so good. I hope they just make a new trilogy. One. Ah, come on.
Or make like a reboot or something would be even better for me, honestly.
I mean, but reboot it from scratch, even though they just did the first one, that would be weird.
Or
this game sucked. We're gonna do it the right way now.
Yeah, we're gonna make a new Dead Space 1.
just anything new in that universe, I would love.
Dead Spacier.
But then after that,
Dead Spacey, starring Kevin Spacey.
There you go.
He's the villain.
Dead Space Mercer with Matthew Mercer voice acting
But yeah, voice acting Kevin Spacey because they can't use the real one.
Right. One thing that I thought was cool about the game is it forced you to utilize like all of your guns. There's a lot of games where like you don't have to. Like you can just literally stick with one gun and only collect ammo and go to the store and buy ammo for that. But if you're playing the game just like how it's originally like designed, you'll get to a point where like you go through a couple like really tough scraps and you're low on every one of your equipped guns. So then you got to go to your inventory and equip some new guns. And I thought that was cool because it always felt like you're mixing it up. Like one minute I'm using my Ripper to take out an enemy. The next minute I'm having to switch back over to a flamethrower or like the plasma rifle. Like, so I thought that was pretty cool. The way it made you feel like you were really getting down to the bare minimum of your inventory at times. And it was stressful because of that too. So anyways, I loved that. And then I started Hogwarts Legacy, and that's where I'm at right now. I'm still pretty early. I don't even know what early is. How long is this game? It feels like it's a really long game. Okay. Maybe it's just the way I'm playing it. I feel like I'm going really slow. But
Well,
I'm in
from my understanding, most of the game introduces stuff like nonstop, like the entire
throughout.
game.
Okay. Yeah, I was telling Brett last night, like I'm really, really enjoying the game, and I have like no experience with this world, the Harry Potter, the lore, or anything like that. I do feel like I'm selling myself short a little bit because I never read the books and never watched the movies. Because I feel like there's moments where like you're walking through the castle and there's like a reference to like a statue or something that while the statue looks cool, I totally don't get. So I feel like there's maybe a little bit, I'm not getting quite the experience that some people would that love the movies. But
a few characters
man,
too that are from the movies.
In the characters, yeah. But man, I was also telling him at the same time, like something about that castle and that Hogsmeade and stuff like that what's the village? Is that Hogsmeade?
Yeah, Hogsmeade, yeah.
Yeah, Hogsmeade, yeah. So like the village and the castle, something is just like, I mean, this is stupid because it's all revolving around magic, but something just feels so magical about the whole thing, and it just kind of makes you feel like a kid. And like it's hard to not enjoy that game. A couple of gripes I have with it, like with the gear inventory slots are really low in the beginning, and like I'm like 2 hours in and I'm already having to destroy gear so I can pick up new gear, which I think that kind of sucks. But you can upgrade the gear slots, of course, by doing these Merlin trials. But I have no idea where to do the Merlin trials, so it's like it explains you can upgrade, but it doesn't tell you how to do these trials. So I don't know if anyone in the chat knows how to start the Merlin trials, let me know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for me. That's where I'm at. Oh, and I'm going to play Atomic Hearts tonight, which that kind of sucks because I like sticking with one game at a time so I don't get distracted, but I really want to try out Atomic Heart. So I'll probably play
I'm probably going to play it tonight too, even though I'm pretty far into Hogwarts. Since you just talked about Dead Space and Hogwarts, Dead Space, I loved it. I think that it has a few sections that annoyed me, like the boss fights. I feel like the game, like your character isn't agile enough for some of these bosses. Like you can't move at the speed of which is necessary, so you get hit a lot. Of course, that's probably a me problem. I'm sure someone has beat the game without even getting hit. I just felt like the movement of the character is so slow, but some of ththese bosses, like the one where you have to fly from each side to shoot them. With the things, it
has like the tentacles.
Yeah, like that's like ridiculous. And there's things coming at you, and he's swiping the whole thing, so you have to like fly up to dodge them. So much going on.
Yeah,
I played on normal, and I found the game pretty damn challenging.
It was not easy. That exact fight when he does that swipe, I got hit every time. Like it was almost unavoidable. So yeah, that was frustrating for sure.
And then there was a few other things there's another boss fight where you're in like a big dome and he's like at the other side, like up against like the wall, and he has tentacles coming out shooting you. That I felt it just felt like it went on too long. But I still really enjoyed it. I'd still put Dead Space 2 above the first one. And that might be because I played the second one first. Like that's how it sort of happens.
No, Dead Space 2 is great, yeah.
Yeah. But it's still great. And then as for Hogwarts, I'll just go over this real fast since I don't want to bring it up again later. I'm also really liking it. It has some weird annoyances like changing, like you're pretty much constantly changing your slots with magic based on what you're currently doing. So if you're going through like a dungeon, then you want to have like your Leviosa and your flashlight and like one of your other spells, like a flamethrower or something to burn stuff down, all on one thing. So you don't have to constantly swap between the 4 slots that you have of magic. And that was kind of annoying. It's still annoying, but it's not the end of the world. Like I said earlier about how I wish Pokemon did this, I really like how the game just sort of tells you to go somewhere, and it's just up to you to figure out, I need to use this magic here. I gotta pick that up and move it over here. It really doesn't give you any hints, which I kind of like. Like I feel smart going through these things, like picking up a box and setting it in front of a wall, climbing up it, and then realizing, oh, I can get up here like this. So that's really cool. And then the world's just so freaking magical. A magical world. Like there's this mission, minor spoilers, but like where you're flying next to a train and the music's going.
Fly?
Yeah. You just melted John's mind.
The iconic Harry Potter music is going, and you're like flying next to this train that's like so beautiful, and it's just like, wow, I'm in this world. I'm in the Harry Potter world. So yeah, shout out to the game. I'm hopefully gonna beat it this week, but I don't know. Atomic Heart might grab me, and I'll get to what I'm playing. Lastly, whenever I get to me. First, let's talk to. Oh, it is me. Oh, this is the end of the show. I thought
we haven't
someone
done
was.
Greg.
Oh, Greg. That's
Yeah,
we
you
skipped
forgot
Greg.
Yeah,
Greg.
don't worry about me. Don't worry.
Wait, you're playing Fiddlesticks and Hide the Pickle? What the hell are those?
Sheep herder
You
2.5.
You forgot the DLC.
And the Tickle Me Tuesday DLC. All right, tell me about Wild Hearts.
Yeah, so like I didn't like I remember I first saw this game and I was just like, yeah, whatever. I don't need another Monster Hunter clone. But I put a little bit of time into it last night because I forgot that I had like saved it and like done the pre-download for it and all that stuff, but I ended up just finishing the download and jumping in. But like in terms of just in comparison to Monster Hunter, the world feels a little bit more, I don't know, there's a sense of like openness to it because right away you're already traversing like these like logs that have fallen down in the forest. You're climbing over rocks, you can jump pretty a little bit more agile than you can in like in Monster Hunter, where it feels so clunky just to make a leap or to run or to use stamina or any of those things. There's like kind of a like old Japanese like feel to it with like samurais and like your character and stuff. But I think one of the things that I found most intriguing right off the bat was the character design in the beginning, the customization. Like, it's not just you know being able to move your nose to make it look like your nose, or the eyes in different ways, but it's also like you can change the position of one
Mommy?
eye over the other, or like if yeah, that's a character I made. So, and like it was really cool, like the way her the color of her eyes was kind of like this like cosmic blast, and like it just looks so different from like it almost made like certain aspects of Monster Hunter feel antiquated or bland almost. But I do like the feeling of being able to right off the bat you can go climb a wall, and yeah, you have like a little stamina wheel that's kind of similar to Breath of the Wild, not Monster Hunter, because Monster Hunter it's like a bar in the next to your health. But just those initial things right away, I'm like, okay, I could see myself coming back to this. Especially how much time I spent in the customization with like, you can, like, some people are born, with different attributes and physical attributes. And even for me, like I can tell when I look at pictures that, one of my eyes is a little different from the other. But that's something, if you really wanted to replicate that in the game and make it a bit smaller, or, lower, or change whatever to match your appearance, it gives you the options to do that. And it's really weird coming just from, I guess a region that I wouldn't expect so much individual customization, especially, having, what was it that I came across last night? I was like, that's really different. Like, of course your character you can change their bust size, their boobs, their butt, whatever, but you can also have a beard if you wanted to. You can, put different
You
markings
can
on
have a
your face.
bust
You can,
and a beard.
yeah, like that sounds like heaven to
Nice.
me.
Some
But
hairy boobs.
I just, dude, I'm all for it. But I just thought that was really interesting that they had such a deep level of customization while introducing some of the story, letting you go play and create, then dropping you back into the story and start hunting animals. Or you can hide out in a bush and pet them. But I feel like it's like
you can hide
like
in a
one of the
bush
first
and pet them, or you can
Yeah.
kill them. One of the two.
Yeah, like what an option. But like even just right off the bat, seeing some of the creatures that, like, one of them was a giant bunny that hopped by, and I thought that was really different from these, like especially in Monster Hunter, where it's a mix of multiple creatures, and I've already seen some of that in the game. But I don't know, I think it's got some nice things going for it that isn't like dauntless, and has a real, solid development studio behind it. So I'm actually interested in returning to it and completing some of these missions, and hoping that it isn't too much of a slog. But yeah, and then outside of that, Apex Legends, of course. They launched Team Deathmatch alongside their
You didn't
latest
even tell
season.
me. I told you to tell me. I wanted to play Team Deathmatch. Now it's probably
No, you
gone.
didn't.
Oh, they have Team Deathmatch
No, it's
now?
still there. Yeah,
I want
so
to try it
this
for real.
is it. So they're really going towards like the Titanfall feel. You know how in Titanfall 2 multiplayer they had like a mixtape option where they put all the play modes together, and you could just it'll divvy out whatever you wanted to play. So they're going to that soon. They completely revamped the roster, so now the roster is like they break up legends by controller, by combat, by surveillance. I forget what all the tiers are, but like I don't know, they've just completely changed the game alongside buffs and all that stuff. So I'm looking forward to what's coming next, despite so many people leaving Respawn. And then yeah, I'm going to be jumping into Atomic Heart tonight as well.
Nice. I'm excited for Atomic Heart. The
Nice.
average, not really average, like the good but not great review scores don't really turn me off, because I still think the game just looks so cool. You know what I mean? Like it looks so unique. So I'm excited to get into that
stylish,
world.
very stylish game.
I heard it's full of dad jokes, which I'm all about.
Interesting. I'm a
100%.
I'm a fan of dad jokes.
Dad or dead? I couldn't tell what you said.
Dad.
Okay, I thought you said
dad jokes, right?
Like,
okay.
You like okay.
Dad by
daylight.
Weird. Like dead jokes. Are you Marilyn Manson? What the fuck is wrong with you?
There's this game on the Game Boy Advance called Kyryuin. I don't know if that's how you say it, but it's on the Game Boy Advance, Nintendo Switch Online, and it's so fun. It's so simple, and I'm surprised that it wasn't like put on something. I haven't even heard of this game until now, and I'm not sure if Nintendo published it or what, but it's totally random, but it's super addicting and challenging, and you literally play as a spinning stick. Yes,
Can you not touch? Can you not?
You're not supposed to touch the walls. You're not supposed to touch the walls. You get like 3 lives, so you can hit it 3 times and live.
Damn,
but
that does look
it's
hard.
so mad.
Like this is a game that would thrive now on iPhone. Like I think my wife would love this game, like on her tablet or something, or even on Switch. She might like it if I show it to her. And it's unfortunate that it's just, like I don't picture it like getting any of attention, but that's why I want to shout it out. It's very fun. I highly recommend it. And I have no idea how to pronounce it, so I probably butchered that, but that's pretty much all there is to it. You're a stick spinning, and you're trying to make your way through levels and not hit the walls. And you can hit little like springs on the side and change the direction of your spin. So you have to like make sure you're spinning in the right direction before you go around a corner. And there's an easy mode
stuff like slow it down and stuff too.
Yeah, like
slow the stick to the spinning down, like different power-ups and stuff like that.
Oh, that might be later on, but as of right now, it just you can spin it the other direction. If you hit like a spring on the wall. But I forgot what I was gonna say. Damn it, Brett. Anyway, it's really fun. Oh yeah.
I mean, what else could
this game came out? This game came out on Game Boy Advance, so there was only 4 directions on the D-pad, but it honestly feels like it's meant for an analog stick. And even if it's still only doing those 4 directions, technically, it just feels right with an analog stick, like playing a game like this, and not a D-pad.
It seems like that. It seems like a lot of trial and error. Like you're gonna get to the same part like a few different times. You'd be like, "Fuck, I was supposed to hit the spring or something."
Yeah, it's very much like Hotline Miami, where no, not that I don't think so.
What
but
are those
the levels are pretty
things
short.
You keep going to.
That gives you an extra heart if you hit the wall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah,
So,
I heard someone else talking about this and thought it sounded interesting.
Yeah. Like that spot right there, like you have to constantly hit the spring, like you have to go back and forth to make sure you can keep going throughout the level. It's pretty cool. And it's
cool.
It's basically like a puzzle game, but also involves some action with you controlling the stick. And and there's an easy mode there's an easy mode that makes the stick shorter. So Brett, perfect for you.
Yeah, I mean, that's my life story right there. Why do I want to?
That's the hard mode of life.
Right. It's like, I don't know. We're
All
talking
right.
about my autobiography here. Come on, man.
Aside from that, I beat Metroid Prime, which was really good. But guys, I'm gonna be honest. I played the game probably like halfway, probably almost 3/4, and I was just completely lost. Absolutely
Yeah.
didn't know where to go. And I thought to myself, all right, I'm just gonna use a guide. And then I followed the guide to figure out where I was supposed to go next. And then I was thinking, all right, I'm just gonna keep using the guide. I just used the guide for the rest of the game. I
Oh my
didn't
gosh.
I didn't even get stuck. I didn't want any more trial and error. I'm so tired of running across this map 3,000 times, and there's so many elevators. So I was just like, screw it. I'm gonna just use the map to finish off the game. I can still understand its brilliance, but at the end of the day, I'm not super big into Metroidvanias, but I still wanted to know, like, I still wanted to see the game through to the end. So I kept a video up, and I was just like using it to keep going. I collected so much because the guide was like almost 100%ing the game, I think. So at the end, I was totally prepared to fight the boss because I had like so many missiles and everything, all like the best suit, which I think you have to get. I can't remember. That final suit looks so cool. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely awesome. I never see it in any like key art or anything, like any concept art or nothing. It looks
Mhm.
awesome. I
They
only
call it
ever see
goth
the
suit.
yeah. I only ever see like just the normal big shoulder suit. I was surprised when I got the purple suit. I didn't even know that was in the game. Like, I had no idea. So yeah, it was really, really good. Amazing remaster or remake. Remember last week's huge argument?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reboot.
Yeah,
Remix.
not a reboot. It's like a remarkster. Yeah, the in between. It was really, really, really good. And
It's a menus Matt.
it's Menu Matt. Shout out to Menu Matt who put together the
Shut up
menus.
to
And it's probably going to be one of the highest rated games of the year. It has a 94 on Metacritic. It was a 95 for a long time. That's
What was the
extremely
original
high.
game on Metacritic?
Probably higher.
That's a good
Guessing
question.
It
the
was, also,
same.
it was also pretty high.
It was very
it-
high. It had to have been.
Yeah. I think it's one of those games. that's
97.
always-
97. Yeah.
Jesus.
Wow.
That's
Is
insane.
it that good of a game? Christ.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Is
It's
it?
really,
It
really
came
good.
out. That was a 10 out of 10 to me.
Yeah.
Like,
If
I think
okay,
Super
and-
Metroid
I
is like the
like-
most perfect video game experience that can exist, and I think that this is like a flawless translation of that philosophy into 3D.
yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
I
It's basically
liked-
like A Link to the Past to Ocarina of Time style jump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Sorry,
was gonna
Mary,
say
go
I
for it.
liked it so much, and I played it for the first time in 2020. That I
Oh wow.
played every single other Metroid game after that. So
Insane.
that's how much
That's
I
so
Wow.
like.
sick.
So
Yeah, and now I'm kind of thinking though, like after that second half where like I used a guide and I was thinking to myself, I would have literally never seen this. I would have never known to do this. It would have been simply impossible for my brain to comprehend that you got to go into a room, shoot some boxes that are in it, and look outside the window to see missile. Like, it's never in any other part of the game where you're shooting something to blow it up. But you look across the water and you see a thing that you got to shoot, and then the whole building falls over, and then you can get in it. How was I supposed to know that? If I wouldn't have looked up a guide, I would have never beat this game. And it honestly made me think.
Did you use your visors?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Which one?
I don't know.
Which
'cause
visor?
I was bad about that too, but like by the time I got to Zero Mission or no, it was Super Metroid. By the time I got to Super Metroid, I would just stand in the middle of a room and just shoot every block. Like,
Oh, yeah, I
was
didn't shoot anything.
trained. I was
I didn't shoot
trained to
anything.
just shoot every block.
Like, I would have shot those boxes probably if I walked in there, but I wouldn't have looked out the window. It's just not how I'd think. I wouldn't have looked out the window. Like, the game didn't have you do anything like that at all up until that point. So how would I have known that you can even shoot those things across and blow up the thing to make it fall down and get the artifact? I just would have never known.
What do you have against Windows, man?
I'm just not a window guy. I'm
Why
a
don't you
door
just
guy.
look
They're
through
they're just a pain.
Yeah, but all that being said, amazingly done remaster, super fun. But I'm also kind of turned off now by continuing the series in a 3D space. I don't know if it's fully for me. Like, I really, because I'm assuming the sequels get even harder. I'm probably not gonna be smart
No.
enough for Metroid Prime
Well,
Corruption or whatever it's called.
2 is rough because it's my least favorite of the Prime trilogy. 3 though adds some helpful stuff on the map. and but like it was much easier for me to navigate it and 100% it.
I felt like Dread was my perfect amount of smartness. Like I don't remember really looking up any guides, and I completed that game. And it must have been extremely easy compared to the other ones because I'm an idiot. I'm geographically challenged when it comes to video games.
Did you 100% Dread?
No, I just beat it.
Some of those like Shine Spark tricks are hard. Dread.
Yeah, I don't think I did any Shine Spark tricks.
Yeah, I didn't
I'll find the one and I'll send it to our group chat.
There was one spot in Zero Mission where I had to look up because I didn't know where to go next. And is there a spot in that game where you literally have to Shine Spark into somewhere in order to continue forward in the game?
I can't
Like
remember.
I remember shooting left extremely far and getting into a room to go somewhere new, but I can't remember if it was a room you have to get into to beat the game.
I can't remember if it was Zero Mission, but there was like figuring out like the jumping, like while Shine Spark in one of the games. I felt dumb once I did it, but I don't think it was Zero Mission.
Oh wait, I did do it a lot in Dread. Now that I think about it, it was just way easier to do. I think, like shooting, like isn't that when you go into the ball, but then you can shoot somewhere really far?
Yeah.
And it never stops until you hit a wall.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there was a few spots in Dread I did that. I think I did look them up though to get like more missiles and whatnot. But yeah, I'm just very dumb when it comes to Metroidvanias. I just get lost so fast, and that's why I told Brett, I don't think it's a Brett Larson game. I told him I still think
the patience for him, man.
I think you should play the first few hours just to like appreciate how good the game looks now, and there are some scenarios like level design wise that I know you'll figure out, and you'll be like, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
But do I think you're going to beat the game?
It.
No way in hell. No way in hell has Brett Larson ever beaten this game.
I dug down and I pulled a John Frisha and just said, you know what, I'm done.
I feel
that's like with me with like Ori, the Ori games. Like,
oh, you gotta play those.
Those
are two games
so
absolutely
good.
amazing.
But I would get to a
alone.
point. I know, but I would get to a point where like it's not clear about where to go, and I would immediately be like, "Oh my god!"
Brett, I'm telling you, Brett,
No.
those are Brett games. You need to play those games.
Yeah.
You would love them.
Like,
all right.
I had just started like my Metroidvania journey, and I don't remember getting terribly lost or to the point of like frustration in Ori. And if I did, I was just like jumping around. I was still having fun, even if I was lost.
Yeah.
I think I got lost briefly. And then I looked at my map again and I was like, oh, wait a second. I don't think I went back over here. You know?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll try it again. At least those. But
they have really good like set pieces, like action moments where like it's beautiful, absolutely stunning graphics. Especially the second one. The second one is just it's one of the best games I've ever played. It's on my favorite games of all time list. It's so good. And the first one's really, really good too. It's just the second one really like nailed everything so well. But you gotta play the first one for the second one though. Like you have to.
No, I will. Yeah, if I do it, I'll play them in order.
Yeah. Anyway,
I sat down and started it twice and got like 2 hours in each time, and then I can't remember. I don't even think it was anything like super difficult. It just got to a part where I didn't know where to go, and I was just like, I just kind of lost. Like my momentum.
Much like this
just got kind
podcast,
of like
you get 2 hours in, we don't know where to go anymore. We give up.
Yeah, we just say.
Yeah, that's the show.
And with that, it was nice, folks. It was a great episode.
It really is the end. It was a great episode. Thanks a lot for hanging out. Please leave us a review on iTunes. We did get another review on Apple Podcasts. They didn't leave a written review, but we got another actual 5 out of 5 stars. So that's really appreciated. As soon as we get anything lower than a 5, I just might end Brett. It might be his life. It will end. Because he's obviously the reason. He's always making inappropriate jokes.
Right. I'm the most offensive one. I'm the most boring one. I mean,
4 out
I feel
of
like
5
I probably
dick joke.
I feel like I
4
probably
out of
have the
5
hottest
dick
takes on the show because I don't know. I mean, I feel like my opinion doesn't always align with like the general consensus, and then I just have to tell the world about it.
What if it was like 1 out of 5 stars? That guy won't stop talking about fucking voice actors.
That'd be terrible. It's gonna make me so sad if we get a 1 star because we're on a roll now. 11, I think.
But we don't put out 1-star material. I mean, I'm not trying to be cocky, but like, I don't know. I feel like we have a fun show. So.
Ooh, King Daddy Dilf
I
attitude makes
am.
an
We put
appearance.
out 5-star material.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a
And
great
Franco,
podcast.
once again, thanks for stopping by. Franco is
Yeah, shout out to
our
Franco.
number one.
Shout out to our Twitch
You're my
chat
boy,
as
Blue.
well.
Yeah,
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 there's
Twitch
a
chat.
showing up.
Thanks a
shit
lot for
ton of
hanging out. If
regulars
you're
in the
watching
Twitch
us
chat.
on Facebook, thank you. Anywhere you're watching us, we appreciate you. We love you. It's been a great. Oh yeah, we never even really talked about the fact that we've been doing the show for over a year now, and that we're at like this is episode 60 or 69. Is that what we're at? The best
Ooh,
episode.
69.
We're somewhere close. I think next week is 69.
So are you
So yeah,
counting
we'll have to
just
celebrate.
since it came over from
Audio
that
feed.
other company?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the beginning.
Like all time, the very first. Okay.
Yeah, and every single episode is available on the audio feed if anyone is curious. From the very beginning on what's the first episode? The very first
Including
episode
all
was
our
January
technical
12th.
difficulties.
Yeah, so many. Prepare.
When we get to episode 100, Greg's getting his nipples pierced on camera
Yep.
Again?
Again.
again.
All three of them?
Yes.
So yeah, January 12th was our first episode. It was about Mario Kart 9 rumors, and that never
Wow.
happened. Oh my god! And then
Well,
Jeez.
episode
we could still be right.
guys, episode
Yeah.
2 in January 18th, 2022, Xbox buys Activision.
Dude,
it's
dude,
still
come
happening.
Coming full circle.
God.
It's all coming full circle, motherfucker.
It's been
They
that
won't
long.
stop.
He's been flying to
Jeez.
Brussels for over a year now.
Yes.
God, so many flights.
Probably built up so many
That's a lot
miles
of
too.
flights. Yeah, he's got some serious Delta Air miles or whatever the hell they're called.
Okay, so next
Alright.
episode is 60. It was 59. Okay, so my bad.
Alright.
We still got a few
That's
months before we
disappointing.
get to the big 6-9. We'll have to celebrate on that one.
The big 6-9.
Maybe it'll be on
We'll all
420.
play. We'll all play a game like Catherine or something that's like a
Yeah.
perverted game or something on the first day.
Hey, Catherine's a 10 out of 10, without a doubt. Definitely play that game. Anyway, this has been Spot
Alright.
Dodge. Thanks a lot
Alright.
for hanging out. We'll talk to you guys next week. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Prepare for next week when we talk about all that Pokemon news and the new Forza Horizon DLC expansion. And Sony announces something about Brussels. We'll talk to you guys later. Goodbye.
In and out is mid. Bye.
See you guys.
Oh, you son of a bitch.